Well, we have a good evening. As you know, this is live on OK 101.7 FM. We're also live on your partner radio stations that are Mother Momo Peke, Emma Echo around the globe. You're live in Kukrin to me, Migachu FM. Blessed Tony Lonini team. No, are you ready? I'll mo pick live Makukrin to me for we see Regnati and Cancer. Also, live. High Life Radio, DC, Virginia, Maryland, DMV, who live or fire any team so NASPA Radio, any team so Kuku Spencer, I'm say live UK, Abruchimemo, Nana answer about for money a day in UK, and live also Kings Jersey Radio, New Jersey, live, Adam Fupa Media or Belgium, ne France. If I'm a Vim lady, if you're can you remember good evening, so join here, Ghana, Europe, but area. America enti yemobia so good afternoon America for any Canada for but yamo akwa no so now unim say the major issue Ghana issue every day be better na Ghana issue because yen are citizens of my Ghana no ye stakeholders Ghana or minimum and the omani be yen enye ye so yen because we have the duty to voice out and then we're going to do an assessment of NPP abain. Over the last 8 years, 8 years in your way, NPP, New Patriotic Party, I mean, you couldn't know my baby Ghana, so because it's the political party that has formed the government of OCCA. 8 years in it, Baba Twaba. Also, an indication as a school, you see, I'm on terminal report. So, this election is going to be the terminal report of NPP party, any NPP are buying. So, 8 years, wow, would be our hair as well. Me person one kasa will send you a message. Now my indication. What is your assessment of NPP buying? 8 years is some NPP for a student. How would you rate them? Obama A minus, B plus, B minus, and I C, and I D, whatever you want to. Because one now yes, I'm a NPP for Buno, and for that matter, any government at all. Omumbu amemonu emma omoho. Governance is for the people. Democracy in governance is for the people. The NPP from penny for another. We will do a critique of them. Our job is to check a bind beer to say a social contract sign no. Wow to man no one to no. As long as we are part of that democratic process no in a battle in even I want to abani be Ghana space no democratic process no as a citizen, no, only a binary sign contract. And this a baby out, a conyaso who new kinds of baby question. Sabine, they got it wrong. And Nana do Kaya, and maybe I call say media encounter, no other catcher say he prefers a media that is robust than a media that is silent. And that's the kind of media we're giving him. Say, yeah, it is because of Mampeni Nana Dunakasa, who is a chief human rights activist and a protector of the media. He knows we are doing our job. We are within the confines of our job to critique. And any issues may be happening, and then we're going to look at it in terms of corruption, development, road, education, healthcare, general welfare of a minor. 2016 out to a bar. O can't say NDC until you are choosing another alternative buying to give you a better option. Our Mampeni and a swearing ceremony, January 7th, okay, say I shall protect the public purse and I will do right by you. Young fan compare the two. Who has served us better? That's all. Yeah, citizens. So and only idea come 170. Yamami or buy ampon San from MPP former chairperson. I walk US Abruchimemo. So we will bring it because again 8 years we know happens to be MPP for no. Omo party omo betting in Krabata US no 30th anniversary, and that was very instructive to me. Say, wow, democracy, yeah, can you see Ghana multi-party democracy? To me, can't abra MPP from. Because even before 92, the struggle to return Ghana back to multi-party democracy na make multi-party democracy. MPP party so they were very key. They die in Ghana in a youth, millennial, Gen Z, yeah. Unim so much had they MPP for. Because they were the key activists. Talk of the Nanado, talk of the GH Mesa, talk of the Apreku, my daughter, and Apreku, my daughter, so no, Akuma then tomatoes, Apreku. You know, these people were the people who struggled. Say Rollins, we have to go back to democracy, multi-party democracy. And they started this patriotic club, no, the NPP party and they have been key. I was looking at it, 30 years in NPP for Betty NPP USA. Oh, wow. And yet the same NPP about him say, since the President Kufuor call, yes, say, Omunye Abatona, Abroche Fonto Abani, Besine, how many years? It's good saying President Kufuor so not to see, say, I'm not saying Nabesi no man running your and so party NDC NPP, Obia Pesika, they come back to Abroche, no Mababa Diska. Fundraising, make us say, and I think in June, Baumia call Europe, friends of Baumia, Alalamia, fundraising. America for Ecuador, my music, I'm saying, I can't coins in the sense, now. It's your Mbutu, music, and a first sponsorship of political party. Just 2 weeks ago, NDC was in Europe, France in particular, and also saw appeal for France for donations on the Bayer campaign. A group campaign, so an party, I can say, no, be a Kaiser, say America for Europe for her. But they do see a better implementation. Almost so crying to your duty, I can say, or port in some most of the people who are suffering, who are the victims of port duties, are broached for. But the good thing is that for the first time in this election, we are hearing from NDC side, you better duty so. From NPP side, you better flat rate. From Alan Chairman, you better duty kremo. So for me, that is good. But beyond that, you know, your assessment, the NDC baba next week, but today, and then we are on NPP. We are critiquing them. We NPP support an anti-Asia, which we call because we're in a part of process. Yeah, I was a critique. What they have done. And somehow, no, they have been very comment. Keep your messages coming. And American or buy NPP for chairperson. America, the entire America, no. Or that man, when that's also instrumental. They say, NDC choosing running mate as Oba for the first time NPP for Oba as a chairperson or party, which is very good for my party. But the beyond gender, no impact ben and all these elections, it make another conversation. One day be a better and who ask him. Into no one, Mrs. Obaya a amponsa from Pong or no baba become who ask him. Samson or near Bema or no, I join a dadano. On a MPP for more penny power a Washington DC chapter. This week, program next week, year program in commemoration of 30 years no of MPP. Chairman the scene in National Open Janice a year first as I be dear county. Mamma Kwaba, Munia Kuma a Kofitonto, a Baba Beka, Honona, or Baomiamo campaign communication near so. Because Baomiaso is the MPP candidate now, we look at and also Huna. Baba, Mamma, good evening, Kwaba.
Yo, good afternoon, Menuaba. Any acquaint out your Maya and every chia, a tea for near after phone in I and every and May and I agree baby will be the hour.
Yeah, that's it. Obanias already so good evening. Oh, put a good afternoon. Yeah, ma'am, someone now good afternoon. Coffee not on every man, good evening.
A real Bocama or Hanty, any area. The Chia no tea phone in an edge of my power, so the Ghana to Akuma Soa, with the Ghana issue 70, but Chia no tea phone in a
yo, yeah, that's it, baby. But I'm on 30 years, but my member before I ever 30 years or so, 8 years of MPP are buying 8 years of they are Namudi. Mujidi se mu free akonya so ananse se mu mutumi break mu 8 year mu ya Ghana for the back. What do you think you have left in the memory of Ghanaians?
Yo, if you wouldn't, let's add the Wasibium in area. Yo, I'm say democracy, dear, na we are say Edum Pensobia, see a man who quina Timemufono, or much or madrine, ewo, a memoir no send you say a call. And need a see any soils here, yes or mine yet Makoy and Brania. Democracy na koye vehicular, so a dear. Other countries and so more different forms of democracy or practice. Now here Ghana, dear Jumana, and say Yafa because the Western democracy near the Juma. As to say, yes, another discussion. Because me did to say the democracy we have, and the democracy we were practicing long before the abrofo eba did omudie ebre ya na ekogitu mu no enso so ye kakra den ntem. But all in all, no, you would want to have citizens who are active. Na kabima men kabino omdo omho gim. Na so omote ho no ma yesa de ekosu bia anye den emfa omho. Because yesi de o twesa no nim se den achi ayeden achia. Nti enyina ye de anotu bi no na can defo no no so etete no mutie ye. Nti NPP ya de agitum democracy agitum pa. Na ye ba bemu 2006 no. Em se tintim krata I de to Ghana for anim se. So mama ya kwanya se ni ena ye pa se ye nso ye de ma Ghana bibia ejina no move ekoyanim. It is a Ghana for NPP. They should look at us from the perspective of the two women say we any yen social contractor yen mo airport. Ye de gina so na ye de to na mo de akoyanim asoman. O man yen fa da kopen ye de chichire. It's a process. It's a progressive. Obi ba no baby, no obi nso ba no baby ato aso na ekoyanim. Na probably no so you hear NPP as a center right political party and also a guide ya na say a shape in how ya memo se be si be buafa no he na your concentration in terms of governance because your political ideology bia ya gitum and no na edi anim e push ye to a certain direction. So unya efanze okofa yenuanu mandisi for ba almost one political persuasion and then a guide them when they are also running the affairs of the country. But ni nyina no is towards one goal say Ghana betime di ye Ghana betime akonim na Ghana betime nya nkuntu. Na your social contract and Ghana sign no ye won nyina bia bobo so I di see ani so say na ye ba ye beye. Na ye ndi kwa eno na beye susudua obetimi afa say okay say na mo book no mutintimu ye to Ghana no mo kansa mo beye say na motima ye na say na mo anye den mo ntimi anye na eno no akoye the yastika say Ghana for den e judge eyi na wo hwa NPP ye a lot of flagship program be this year and so in our manifesto and ye pass ye focus on say countries are etima call manim nyina no hwa omo woniema bia omo si omani so so mbeye no maye ni ye to omo ye ni ye no amma omo man no etimetumpon. One of the things we share your manifesto and yema ye boss and throughout the campaign in 2006 through 2000 resonating in all our platforms so one being free senior high school education because you say mind bia no obekọ anima the quality of the population awono ebwa enso ma development na kwa anim because entiase nipa timi kan etinemase nipa timi reason two things because critical thinking any mass of ideas are man for no so be the baba discussion and eboa and the education was one thing if for nothing at all Ghana for the back and another dankwa ekufuado amemo education or expanded the access, the quality, and then also making sure that every single household in Ghana no, at least even you be that was one goal. You cannot take it from the man.
Okay.
And or then share aba afa as to how we see obeko nemu. Because you share and probably now share the percentage of literacy in Ghana na form. But no kakra ne musia bebre betimi de omo say si obo say omo one person at least wako senior secondary school before no na unya bisa, which is a good progress for minor. Okay. Because when you have a very good quality population eboa ema development no ade bia wantimi anye no fan say nchima for na ntimi anye because they did not have that kind of quality no and say fonya ombetima komani. One of the things I keep saying say we hear the person who invented electricity not the sum ansa na ohun akwanya come out with an idea to put electricity together through education, but not the sum. And he realized, no, with the sum and the sum we need to be able to do something. Or and I will be free mobile. So out of the mass production of people into education, a bit me abwama, nyama aye akwansidie and answer aye obstacle and answer aye problem ama for so many years, that mass of people are yet training on. One day, some of them will come up with ideas to solve the problem. I have for years. Ebia, I didn't to me and mom will be near that revelation or that remark to be able to resolve.
Your point is that free education is a generational wealth creation for generations to come and not just an empo.
Exactly, because on my piano, who build in my now, shed your wool benyan and then be by the median and then corner between honey and meaning chima. Me and for one name, see ye. Now you say the bedding in them benya, we will leave a whole mass of people behind that almost my bob brebia, that innovation beyond soon free mama and me or mine into. So education there, it is very good once you have the basic level. At that point, and that is what I believe Nana said. I will spend every dime, every money I can lay hands on just to make sure that I build a generation of population. They are literate because there was potential to solve so many other things.
Okay.
Directly and indirectly.
Okay.
Number one. Say when you have an educated population, yes, say of course secondary school bar, I say when near be. So we could now abonte graduate so a ferry on yet. And then sanitation home by na wobon. So ebia one co school ka wo gina ba bia kwan ho ba bia dwon so kra just an easy thing for you to do. But any baby about life ma bia now we hear with impunity just found and ma so.
Okay.
So yes,
okay, until for 8 years at least the key thing MPP for a better media kind of the transformational role of an introduction of free SHS.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. That's number one.
Opportunity for Ghana to take off to another level where you have a critical mass of people they will also generate ideas and then be able to build a country. Okay.
It's after free SHS,
but other things are the industrialization agenda of Nana Akufo-Addo's government. Say, who training Nipani Nano? Also, you know, who say, and you'll be an a bit me so set or set it on one business, you want to take it off. And so there has to be a medium of where Bimo Bakakoye, a Juma Mobi, or more once we entrepreneur, or more before Mukana, or Moswafaso. And so the idea of the 1D, 1F, no, a Hona and Sufi. So we have to begin to develop the country to where Obiti, Mikromo Boasia, or Yasoba or Bank and San Obinya, a Juma, and a factory, Juma Biaye. Let's look at the resources within our own vicinity. Say the Shemukina now a buy so entrepreneurs as here, met me abwa and Numa and so spread you.
My execution, what has been executed? Because the concept behind it is over 8 years, you will be at it. More policies in us, at least multimedia marketing now. But now we want to see execution. 8 years ending, no. My A, B, C, D. At least free SHS, what can? Factories now, my execution, what has been executed?
Yes, so far, factories, no, yes, CBA, because the government is a process. It's not an event. I happened one time, let's see. Factories, no, across districts, Nibia, CB, our districts, Nibia across the country. If you are omawia is operational. You will do a honswa omuntimi enwie is still ongoing because of course logistics and other funding issues into omuntimi wie. But all in all, no, the agenda, the yetimia in terms of the 1D, 1F or the industrialization agenda of Nana Addo Dankwa. I think those are there improving or developing the automobile industry. What is going on there, which is a good plus. At least these companies, no matter Ghana for or more ejuma in that sense. Areas be in the FNSN not area where there are factories that have been set up. Kumasi, Ashanti region, like I said, almost when you're almost in some of the 1D, 1F. I think one of the popular ones that came, a Confiju say, became a top because it was one of the early ones or more a commission, and so it became very popular in that space. But there are other ones that are also coming up. There were other factories over the years, that they were not able to do much. Now they are also coming up. So a lot has been done, but there's so much also to be done to improve the industrialization agenda. And other subsequent government ban also twaswa from where Akufo-Addo may have left off. Now and so take it off as a country. So yeah, dear me boy abano abas na omabaso say no so adi hum ne wo ho no ma omadwen say omo ba be shemu kina because you share the factories of Nkrumah ye beto ye all of them were disposed of and we are going to buy and sell and no money in I buying and selling. Nobody's producing anything, which is in the country be out as you cannot go into buying and selling to as a country and possible. And also one area Akufo-Addo abon homodin. We are not where we want to be, but at least they've taken off if you say it to me at Twaso. Any subsequent government be at ever not Twaso. And also with Eddie Ghana
okay. I'm happy you say you are not where Ghana Mupese Ghana were, but Munya Yanka, you are better than where we are now. And any subsequent government do a baby has the duty so better so baby a mode esino. Masamba hoba Mrs. Ibediako. Mami Musa, what would you do out of the Unyaba or Baya Kenya? DNA Cassia pie womb. Yeah, would you say? For instance, more and more diaspora because Ghana for say you see about almost 4 million. Ghana for Wabruchre, Europe near America, some more can call 4 million. That's quite a chunk. And our chef friend President Kufuor time be see now. Musika mo de ba o my Ghana Ghana pa. But what would you say from internally Ghana for your Ghana? No more Wabruchre no. Will be the biggest achievement. More party NPP free akonya so beka sen Kufuor de beka mo. Dum so no ana say dey na positive de beka mo.
Yo, Oba me da was pass we busa asem we. Ma mentwe adwen kwasem bi a me chere di kan na me si asem na busa me so. Also, so when Nana Addo amemu na Nana Addo ye ba so 2016 no. Na Nana Addo we anisuade hunu bi. Say your nation's resources no obia benya ne chefa. Say wuti akurasi o, wuti akromo, bebe wo bia no ye che nation's resources a obia benya ne chefa. Anytime you can say me, me check the car about free SHS. Free SHS bay. Na ya first na ya no see enye yi. Afi bi nko argue so mo mbet matua no mo muntua. But now the car say the bay ya obia benya binti no. Ye mo obia so obet matua ntua. As long as wo bana we do some person no dey. Ye ma obi. Very significant. Some another example. So mo ko ba kaya ye ba she ye implement be a friend Sano Hydro, which was a bauxite butter system, right? That's no hydro deal, no. The another year and say, or the bauxite, no, and or the quadri projects, which are even talented, the year, no. I think they are important. So your kuma you want to need the resource, the quadisca. Let's get a go forward to the development. Says, can you ever development so ember? If you who say other governments, no, and confirm your year, Nina Armedy. Now the say, oh, wait, I mean, this can be going to move. Me the bauxite ne ko na mind this amount of set projects. and the Ghana for nyina ebi ni Tamale interchange, ebi ni Inner Road City Police nyina yehu no. Because Nanado had a vision say at this minor resources no obecha mo bia nya bi, it was unprecedented. So mama wa asem no so say den na yen yewa bochi den na yehu. Ye wo man yi mu for over 60 years. Niema ye hye ye kwa anima, nya sa tia abafom. Ye hye ye kwa anima tia abafom. Adentia. It na go say we were not making decisions based on data. Me no can say 10 years ago na wo chiro fie kwan a wo di mango dua. And as lotto kiosk be all kwan ho. Na chaba kwan say good lotto kiosk na oba no hu fie. Me no can say it was say na Dr. Mambo ba ya nka even na identity card krampo no ne ni bi. Akufo start ya no so ba beja to ho. We have the basic data to make decisions. And then remember your way. So making any big decision. You need that data to be able to project. What's that in crime? Say in crime. Never say never in crime, but within the next 10 years, and can you see your friend is saying no, you got to see your KBM. Okay. Because any sad decision into you see it too heavy, and then crying flooding. But none of the buy says when we have the data, it's in a year address system, it's in a year the ID system. So these are the basic things that you need to develop. As long as Nanado and Nephew Krana or what do pedestal be so from here and taking off is very, very easy. When that Dr. Pomegnas can say or bow a flat rate because they say you the data there. It was okay. People say no more the potential to be paid to help your development. So these things are key. So who are Brochio, who are Ghana, who say Ghana is a do something, so it is say no. Now we can take off to become an advanced country.
Okay, but Penny, what is the difference between data here okay? Any census I every 10 years? Say every 10 years, in fear do be a kind nipa do mo America homu ye be Ghana homu ye be. It at least near was data and my approximate indication of the population. Any region be I said they no more do what here. What's the difference between the Baumiano my ye? Any census data na near 190 who can say more the my ye be a phenomenal extraordinary cry about decision making.
That's a very good question. But when you be referring to the quality of the data, what I say, because the quality of the data, just the data ya waji, then I bet him the answer information I bet me in your frame. Okay, census is one form of data. So the data person who say, oh, okay, nipa say, and I friend is saying, or more minimum, right? You can still drill down that data to okay, about abolition, or saying, obey. When do you take the data? You see, okay, every 10 years. But saying your data, which is more quality because you will now, and now still cook about Ghana or a number. It's the data now is progressive because you know how people think that the data is increasing on a daily basis. Okay. We didn't have that. Why is that important? Say decision we can project. Because you better call say, oh, last month and class in your okay, last month what in your what I say. So this is what we need to be able to build for the next 10 years. This is key. Mami can share some so Dr. Baumeka assembly and for antenna say oh Ghana maybe we do Ghana yeah the card Ghana card they back to card because ye my assembly no okay it where the Ghana card at card mo nche mu say na so make data ye be shia boa mo ya sa de no no me to America say me koto car me first can go omo obi be a friend with driver's license driver's license no e kire woni pa ban say me ko me picture da so me amini or some of my bio data so can the bio data personal bio data nka me nie and here one na what dey me refer social security card and what phone number o ma asane man say wo chrome ha na so ba chrome ya ma sa number no certificate your boss number na e yi oni baba ni usu nyina pie so asuma si Janice say na ni sika asem sitie o man sika onye sika yi a odi ni nyina odi bi sie sika say na ba na account sim sa nyama me ni we
you use social security now sika asem nyina abaso
obi bia abaso your boss social security number obi bia then this sika asem nko ampo even your personality your personal profile is also pulled you heard the Johnny man na ko to car me ho a oh we asuma si ha na oti say na sika tie nti say card 5,000 na me hwe sika oji busumi bia na obetuma tua bia 500 every month me the car name man no tua 500 every month sana kuma e ko bia ko to there with cash ko to dan ko to car bia ko to bia sana o mo hwe
anti mo dan na mo titi market ye ni nyina nye cash
the cash obi a so
bia cash akesi a mo twitwi nya 4x4 mo friend track o se ni nyina mo bia wo card na ko to
just ye ba Ghana kra na itimi ko sika wo so e be di wa Ghana e ba ye tua ni kakra aka What yes? But
year of return I am mobile bedi boga sem ni nyina mo kwaji sika no na mo bedi.
baby, what yes?
Ni na the card no a.
Can't think one. Mamma, you are running child and so. Then it's America, sir. Dr. Baumia Bay says, cars to America for away. Yeah, one card that does both of them. Your Ghana card, no, it has your bio data and it has your ID. What I said. So we are even more advanced than what they have in the United States. Oh, but Ghana, the next step in that process, no, and that's what I'm talking about the quality of the data. See, it's me combining your Ghana because you say your Ghana card is linked to your bank accounts. Phone crowding to go and be a phone. So we have that. It's me combining with the police data. When I say the police data say, oh, we want your for we will say, then we know your personal profile as well. That's what we used to build what we call a credit system.
Ah.
So you get a credit score. I say, I'm way they build a credit system. From next year, some file taxes. You say, okay, let's say no nya who file with taxes. We never say ya. Ebe say what talk car here scan out where we school like you say we nya adwuma be na wata dey adwuma stay na ho beso. What are businessman and say discussing about to say na ho beso. Mortgage beba form, who talk my beba form. Some penso nti na efe ye penya Dr. Baumen na because how no mudi edu. Nti obi say if na edu na do ni Dr. Baumen by the yes penso bi so a over the next 10 years, no, we are going to be a developed nation. But first, you need all these systems.
Okay.
And we continue the same way for over 60 years. That's why we are not developing. You see, a new government, which is based on data, which is put us on a very high pedestal.
Okay.
Obani,
as I was in say, oh, as same way I will can they won't go for any visa and message. Oh, yes, Obi catch also say a hot say 8 years I'm mobile. More than a hot shraba. A come den for ye do more can economy nin koye inflation koya. How do you contrast that and now compare that with the who can they to say there or buy a can free SHS near eku juice near factories near day the more also be can there in this almost send a message near can say ah now what you ye doom so economy nin koye inflation ko or the to or the anabeka.
Oh, no crap. Me, I'm figure to buy about it. Now what you mean? What you saying? But me catch you for send your program started and say NPP are buying your home. We got almost 8 years. What I say? Until look at you have been born from 2016 all the way through, and now me know what I say. It was on the then they see, then I cost. I've seen them. I'm sure I didn't marry you so. So you buying from 2016 all the way through 2021, right? And nobody can fact check this. Now your economy was one of the best economies in Africa. I think we're even ranked second. What you saying? And this is a fact. You can fact check that. Until say around 2022, COVID based year, our economy wasn't that robust. Now I'll explain that our economy wasn't that robust that maybe so person will be some of the resources into a lot of projects. And also for my economy crash here. From 2022 till date, nothing we are trying to recover. What you say? So we catch them say, oh, my idea. No crowd my idea. But maybe see which are unprecedented anywhere in the world. I'm sure. I'm seeing in America. So great addiction. No, we did say almost about a year or two ago. Toilet ration.
Oh man, I know they say COVID don't me boy.
Exactly. What you say? Because we do America, yeah, man. So maybe the people do a COVID ration. This is America. When you get we can Ghana. Toilet be here. But what you say? But we were able to survive this challenge. Emma, definitely, it had an impact because our economy wasn't that robust. And then another should a lot of grand projects in the industry. That is a scan. Tibetan maybe say scanning man. Nina counting the economy crash. We are still trying to pick up the slack. And to be catch them say, oh yes, Ghana heading. Maybe I say California haircut or maize. Yeah, there's any penny near person maybe haircut. There's a penny near person. Maybe you can say IMF. But they be doing pension because of industry. And so they want to wear sooner near person. They're gonna do something pension. We took certain bold decisions, and that is why governments are elected. We are connected to the people. But if I can't of say, I do in every year. We never say we do no. I know behind me was a COVID betraying in about a few years no. And but what do I share a track record? Never say okay, we are we improving? And I can assure you, say, if you look at now 2021, 2022, 2023 was very difficult. But maybe at least we are showing signs of we are improving again.
They say we see improve.
Oh, it's getting better. So last year say last month I said most of the dollar is cost because of hard in your marketing. But if you look at it relatively, I think we are getting way better.
Just say $1.50. Oh. And say yeah, 17
about a month, and I think that the economic and true. But before last Christmas, I say, oh, but everybody because the net dollar to 20. Got stabilized and saying about the month they're going to use the dollar cost because I think certain factors. So out here, they take your money and say number $25 or $30.
Yeah, but only need to also your indication say I say to me, I'm who you man so.
Mommy answered and they say who you so. What I say, one of the things, a friend saying, I'm a economy stabilizing a cry, you are still seeing certain changes. One said dollar now, you do whatever. We don't any sika. The Kobabi share we pay in dollars. It depends on how much dollars you want to has an effect on our nation. So America decided to say, hey, me dollars, it affects us. All my country also or dollars. So who America say may increasing interest rate. What I say, increasing interest rate, me am America, me to Ghana, to America bank, me more interest. If you remember me see investment what Africa and I say what Ghana no, but America increasing interest rate. They can manipulate our system until say you be near maybe a bit of my free crack from the dollar. We'll see some of these fluctuations.
Okay.
And Dr. Baumia, one of the things about last year was this gold for oil project. The end say the gold oil for Saudi Arabia. So we don't need the dollar. We cut out the forward tracking on the GSC cano. Because they say the dollar gold oil. What happens is one, importers no, the bit so because dollar in stable. Instead, it's oil rating or 12 cities. Charging about 20 cities.
Okay. Oil companies, no.
Yes, that's what they do because some people say because they're fluctuating into the bit so. What I say, the price of the pump always goes high. And that's about America say, oh, now say I'm pay oil, no, I'm pay gold. I didn't know big gold companies no more Ghana because I'm here cities say they are operations. Or more gold fish small scale man. I'm here cities say they are operations. If you ever say cities ni more now you gold, never go and crack oil imra.
That is the dollar in every move.
That's out the dollar. So there is no forward tracking.
Still dollar 17.
I don't think that dollar is stable for a very long time. I could do 20 no. But as I told so America increasing a year. It affects how things are. Now we are seeing the global war between Israel. I've seen all these things. It has a significant implication on what is happening in Africa. Okay. But the point I'm trying to say, we are putting in policies. Will be independent of the dollar. I can tell you one of the things that about me and another about is. So sometimes catch us say, oh, the data no. I'm not saying started filing taxes. Say no, the tax bracket. Say the car Ghana taxes be break. I didn't know about about my flat rate. I didn't know about taxes. So I'm the lowest tax in what they call it, paying nation in the sub region. Because say no more income tax or they are less than 20% of the potential payers on it. Now with the data now we can expand that potential to almost over 80 to 90%.
Now what you do to free her? Now what you do to flat rate?
Exactly because we understand now before we break taxes into tax now an ABA form. One people are paying less per head, but about to yes come more. The Bema taxes now will be a ABA form.
Okay.
But there is much more revenue coming into the system. And all this American is based on the data now you want. So that is key. First, no buja. Obi ba you me tackle corruption. Then I tackle corruption so the matching of what to fine. The matching of what to in sharing it sounds good. But the Biani said Opunike said I got na court for 8 years no. So I said, hey, media government. I'm not saying he's guilty or he's not guilty. But you are infringing on the person's rights. You are trampling on the rights of the judiciary. So is this the most efficient way to do this? Okay. About what I'm going to do is even chance corrupt. I'm putting in systems. He said, I say register my car or DVL. My DVL. But me buy my computer so I'm DVL app. Me buy my car details. I'm register my car. And
I want to me register or can online.
More app. Oh yeah, online. What I say, and some people when you see as a nation. What I say. So that is how you eliminate corruption.
Okay,
it's not
very
about
well.
you using that macho style of that. No, it's not about talking about. It's about putting in systems.
Okay.
These are based on data. Because we have the data, no. Now we can move to the next level. And then that will be anti-Asia or say about 24/7. Because we are building blocks in every. But it's something that we are doing. It's a process. What I say, but as a nation, no, and now we can say, I can tell you we are at a better place. I said over the next 20 years, I have my number, I can be filing my taxes, at least me real school cramp now. And you me make it to every day, but that is how all these nations developed. Asian tigers, Malaysia, no matter.
Yo, Obani Mamina say we only have a Viton to Bebum because we want to also see a friend saying Dr. Baumiaso Campe Bobaya. Mame from Braba, go near them and you're carrying Uncle for me soon. A lot of the things that people are sending messages. Almost that we are propaganda and some no can. Or when you say Ghana and Koye, obviously, or the free, the free Russia Ukraine war. I feel the Amudi Ababe Israel ne Hamas for war is no cross economy is slow down. About me busa ATS if we be busa say economy like ahoche, which is what a lot of people are sending the comments about. Ahoche or what will you say? Mo legacy. Obeka say mo legacy ni ahoche no. Any doom so no. What will you say?
Yo, Sophia, that's it. Yo, well, wow, we friends say, yo, we need to do ye. The best part now, what is a Ghana? So, Biaka say, Ghana, I am remember. What to be that?
And I cross some more share, but I'm the man.
That's what to be that. Say, I mean,
can't be that there by name. But Momo can some the
yes, I see swa. Obi citizen a team. Obiaka said, ne what to na a which rubber is a fact. Basic fact. Yeah, based on the Juma May. If I tell you something America, it is a fact.
I want you America.
I'm telling you.
Homelessness
have increased in America. Depending on your Juma jacket, as like it mean high and rent even a studio in this country.
Then one almost credit the idea of bit to me and I don't think homelessness.
Credit is whole building to credit one building and ya. Over him. Just a wood knew who was into a piano better and trusted the secret to your hands. Credit is not homelessness have increased. The number of people on food bank, basic food like eggs, milk, bread, increasing astronomically.
Oh, America. That's fine. I'm baby, I'm eggs. The
Ghana advantage will be on America. They say, "Send me fear. Let me try mortgage. Let me a bit to me. Let the apartment. Let me rent it. Let me try renter. A bit to me. Ghana, I know bit my pa. If you're right, I chow. I produce on to nothing." I don't know advantage that Ghana for was saying, yeah, what abuchri. Because abuchri there's no mercy. Where there is too much compassion, or mining to me because a chop and the dorsal. That is the system we have in Ghana. No mercy for the cripple. Say, when to me and that's why homelessness have increased in America as we speak. Miami State and Metro Mass Terminal, maybe a mufa bus ni trains call a day ya. Or my space enough. California crowd, yes, just said, hold a deacon.
But by a moment, yes, I excuse me. I think Mama be my excuse be say as a hotel and may do baby crocker cast NPP for moments now, Bermuda to Munim said yet. I think one buys I excuse no. We say, Massa, you man to me yet, cannot question for. Into why is it a nay? So catch say, oh, homelessness square increase to America, hotel could be America, as I see a Judy.
Your minion. The difference in say, can't excuses me because you are not looking for alternative or solutions to it. Can't because it is a fact, and you have to state the fact as is. So ahokyere mentimi nka say ahokyere ni ho. It's not true. America, the good thing here is they have social safety nets. Into obi hokyere na obi obekọ wake, obekọ we tanif ni ade na aboa na supplementing no. Ghana you need such a social safety net no. The social safety net why the people around you are be obekọ neighbor bi ho no ne dia na obema kakra dia na say o survival. Nti niam modern. And the niam mu na ede no is as a result of BBC we see within Obia na answer the essay we be seen a boom a hit we see. It has set the whole world back. Ghana is not an exception. Yes, Ghana na ya lifestyle so mwaye enni mwaye dada. Ghana, uko Ghana, if you are Ghana, the lifestyle of people in Ghana is like, oh, wow. This is a moment as you are making us believe. There's a party some for a year for and to man for betra. It's like, what? How are you getting all this money to be able to live this kind of lifestyle? You cut your coat according to your size. Big funerals, big everything. Meanwhile, no, because he's relying on the largesse of you and I. Say, contributing what media.
You think you're not but not necessarily because more managing economy.
On some level, there are some things NPP could have done better. And there is a basic fact. Because sometimes you might put a lot of resources in a direction B. If you say bet you'll do resource A or B, na anko banisa, ekobasa. At that point, your judgment can be looked at as a poor judgment. Because resource and say dear and you ever and it will be as a result of say one you did not foresee say decision way as soon as a bit media benny and aqua backfire. So those things are there. The will be said from hindsight. So boom ponqua a boom compo aquachi Kasay and Abesaya and Nasa baby be different. But Nina can't accusy say NPP are buying air to Tunia Mebia, Sadia Mana yet to Tuna. And then the Bebois ama a hucha or gun over the years. Until you ask our question is a time bang in the history of your life. No, what is a case a Ghana dear? Young what Toyama, young Kerbida. Thou be a much thou mind more thing. There has never been any time of Becca say or man equate. But we are building blocks beer. Say a tosu koswa. You bet me your minus year. Obia and yet millionaire. Obia and only big a friend is saying fat bank checks any day. But then Obia benyan is so needed the media. The America are not Janice about the credit system that America operates. And then the man I say who's Americano says go for Tom and never tesa will be kind of credit card debt to we embellish. When him says and person go to fear America and Tamsika and go Ghana must go back Miss the Kakuta dine. Send the Ghana and yet me. It's a mortgage system, and it will be a ecogy. Now, we time, over time, 15 years, 30 years, depending on sending wow, holding a year. And to know Sika, what Jennifer Summit, because the Sika Jennifer Summit, so and a film, if you are Timur class, as can intimate talk. But they have built a system, a near Mamma Mramanipa. Because otherwise,
8 years, you won't build a credit system, no. I didn't build there.
Yeah, build it because first of all, you have to have a data, a very good data to be able to build.
And no, Miss Asa, be there. Cook one say.
Yeah, the other ye cosmetic. Maybe you know this so in because I did this 67 years. Now fapim pa and me and to fapim for 67 years. And now you travel na Ghana for yasro. Yeah, so bad. And I also bad saying. A money ding, but you have to start from somewhere. And this building is to get us to a level, a place, a bema hotre, a beba for would be cried over the dear, Ubenya Bibia Bebu, Oka Bia Betimako Bank, Nwanya at a good rate now at Wakabinya. But say in this system, no, that is where people will rob the system to live a wealthy life. And we can say, and this our life, no, Sassika Unya no life, neither only dinner. But the system no checks us. So that it doesn't weigh too much on your income.
Okay, very well. I'm into a celebration. But I'm able to quick one on corruption. Asana Medu Unia Kofitonto so trying to tell us about what Baumia has been doing over the last few weeks. Corruption. So people some 8 years of corruption. What would you say? Somewhere. Oh, very well. For corruption. It's a major normal Kofitonto. Normal a corruption. On about me, most of 30 years. 30 years of MPP. More MPP call USC. 30 years, no. It's Ghana for the end of Ghana card near the more diaspora. No. If I saw Ben, I'm the MPP call US and when you and I impact Ben and make your mamma.
Oh, any baby. Say a share. Obiba Brochra. Number one, Oba Bonibra. Others will be going to school. Or be penny Jumaye, now they are building a life in the family, and only the basic. But yeah, to quite Bible chin, ye ba, ye try a new echo here chia. Ye who say, an idea who were Hannah. Ye who said, see a travel said the echoes were Ghana and fire hoa. I'm sure soon sons when I become my be, a becoming near be, a become down for be. And it's yet been trying and 4 dear arms said the echoes will fire because I have a good life here. So there's many politics. I'll be fine. I'll live my life. I'll work, make my money, and then enjoy life. But is that all the value to your life? Where lies your impact to society, to generation, and yada? Anything that here say we are Ghana now, but I'm not too comfortable now because at the end of the day, no, our Chroma for they know their own. Ya makra ya wo mu krom ha no sometimes they let them know say masa free ha unka ye ho
sa ho osa no mo ye ho
ti sa wo wa ntutu nyema ye no wan forward wan gum compound kohwe wachi no wan hwe say amamu ekoso no yo mu tutu nyema bi a ukọ ha say healthcare na upa nyema eye good school na wo do be kwa bibi ekoso akwan na wo ye ekoso na atena ha na wo ye ada a diabebu ebu no also ko wachi no abehu say wachi ayeden ayebasa and then the share nipa said no, we cannot sit here and enjoy good life, eat burgers and things life, no, that is all to life. It's about change, it's about bringing impact to the lives of people. You see a jayachi broni de ba wa hihye de ye ni abetinam ti fi say fi ho no do ho, but they have labored, they have worked, they have made sacrifices on their bedu bebia. And that is the same sacrifices some of the Ghanaians are sometime in the 80s. And now they're also Ghana no omo edwani free of mining because some of them were students. Omo dwani better America ha, if you call Canada, any other places.
Omo NPP no America ho.
Started NPP. But at the time, no, it was under the PNDC era. There was no political parties.
Okay.
Most started Ghana Canada Union Alliance, and almost started say almost to Tuniama. Now almost draw me home to the United States government say, and you may be Koso under the regime of the PNDC. Yeah, Bogana for. Ye jinko for niema ye kunkum ko for judges ye kunwomo nti ewiase ntwene ni
omo ti NPP no omo no aso mbe ma US aban pressure na awon so dey aban to rolling so more the democracy le ba
Professor Alote Professor Aite, the likes of Dr. Judedu. They were all professionals in different parts of America.
And the technically, 1992 constitution, we say I don't know about somebody bomb with Mona. Pressure was from Mona Nano team.
Exactly.
Okay.
They mounted pressure, and the US and the Western world also mounted pressure on the PNDC to go democratic. And they can remember until 1992 they couldn't stand, and then they had to cave in. And democracy about Ghana. But you want to have a vibrant society. I will be happy. Then society will be timid. I experienced the PNDC era as a child growing up in Obuasi. I saw everything, the brutalities that happened in Obuasi. And this is not change. Your force will be a shiny packety more and yes sustainable. Ode man out Bobby and also was from A to B was amount just to please you. When you feel why they go back to what they know how to do. You don't change any society that way. But if people can also count there. At the end of the day, Bible crack also in the multitude of counsel there is safety. Oh, count there, now they come there to two I heard the best one near the two as for mine.
Okay.
Me personally, looking at baby you work as a country, I've always said this, my car will show is super. Saying that the type of democratic system arrangement no. Me boom come chance that should not be what Ghana for or saying
a democracy winning Kenya no the best.
And yet the type that winner takes all system any adeno. Because you were in development. You were now if you're now ba we hear every mind that a bit my boy more mind and we cannot sit here and say opposition, you need good brains in opposition or bit my can on your bonya or minor take it off. You have good brains there. You have good brains in NPP, you have good brains in all the other political parties combined. And to say if we are picking the best, and then you turn for use meritocracy. If meritocracy is at work in Ghana, maybe we would have been far ahead than where we are. But sometimes, political parties, people want to feel that we play a role in the also now yourself. But maybe if you just suppose maybe me to somebody in the other side, now they share the credentials and what we can do. Maybe the person may be higher than me. But because a political party, you keep everything within. And also, when you are dealing with a country, you fear near 67 years now, and we are lacking as a country.
Okay.
And your politicization also a more idea is straightforward and can you see ya no problem from near a move on because we be a score political points and pull you down near the year and no sign so a man or minor and calling. But in all of this, we still see say what we have is better. People are speaking, people should speak, and you speak truth to power, and that is how you change society. That is how you make society better.
I like the organizers at least for the 30 years now. Time at least you need to cry. There's been an improvement in terms of at least at least we can talk. Send a message. It be criticize it. It be very extreme. Maybe so very liberal. Your point is at least in the absence of bad, no way and no cry here. It's an improvement.
Oh, yes, it's in the absence of bad. Is the absence of nothing. Bad is good sometimes, and we feel say. I was here to me now NPP USA so there's so many things that we have championed over the years. Of course, Ropa, so yes, Ropa was a baby of NPP USA and penny phobia or Mudi kind. I said no, Ghana, your contribution to the GDP of Ghana, you cannot overlook it. And it's Yama ya Kwenya niento aba. Then say ye fiha ya Ghana ya register. Yasaba.
Buy 8 years old. President Kufuor na ye ade Europa no.
Yeah, 2006.
Nanado buy 8 years. Muntumi nye Europa no Ghana for wa broche nto abo.
Ucha year bia ucha another 8 years bia.
Yes, Mahamane Atamos there wasn't really there. President Kufuor time no pushy yes. They were part of it. But it was your baby. Inti ade na mo buy 8 years in Europa muntumi fanya adwuma.
Ni nyina no a friend is saying, as a process, a process, governance and everything is a process. Electoral commission, a woman role to play. Yeah, the other said, Emrano, you're making sure you're passing. The next step in implementation. Now we have not stopped pushing for the implementation of it because I'll say yeah, Juma.
Okay.
I have been an observer at the Senegalese election process here in the US.
Burkina
Here in the US. And I think we can do better as Ghanaians.
Okay.
Yes, electoral commission for some way. If because the court has ordered them, so munya CI. CI na mbe chakaya be faswa e de be de beto abano. Muye sa CI na mbe koto parliament. 21 business sitting days, no. It becomes law. Then the implementation process will start. But I said the two sides, Miami party NDC side, no, they don't want it implemented. And so we are fighting the two parties to get it. And they're diaspora issue specific. And no, do why party because it is an issue that affects us, and then we want to see that resolved.
Okay.
Another thing that we have championed.
Tonto Bekasa because Matisse and Moyina Moba Sam Sabaumia Bebaho. I think because this is an issue, I think send another one to me, and you need to push it to a bank crone to implement it because it's like okay, Siriga for Kanyo classmate Nigana. And it's a Siriga for my but there's no reason why Ghana for
we have no excuse as a country not to do that. And we are appealing to both the NPP side and the NDC side. Sadly, the woman now it's going to be for our own good and for generations. Almost American politics. The time will come, they will become a voice. We will need them. Now, won't be more that little opportunity, no. And then we are so happy, say, African Americans, they're more citizenship. But when it comes to our own, then we are dilly-dallying around it. I don't think it is fair to us living abroad, regardless of our political persuasion. The other thing I pushy, the South Citizenship Act 2000, Act 581, a limited dual citizenship, dual citizens from holding particular position. Professor Kwasari will handle that issue, no, which the party here, we back him 100% in that effort. To all these different levels. We've met the Council of State, we've met the Parliamentary Select Committee on Legislation. It is not progressive. Any country, inclusion and a country, not exclusion. You be married, and then thanks to our leadership, the Chief Justice, case be the court about certain positions via exclusionary rules. The Supreme Court declared unconstitutional, but there are still others that are standing now. We feel say that Parliament of Ghana should be bold enough, and they should be progressive in their thinking, and then help us push this forward. And this is one other thing, port issues, and also diaspora issues. So we try at NPP USA, we try to separate our politicking from things that are diaspora issue specific, and we take it, and then we don't care who gets in our way. We are coming at you because our $5 billion every year through remittances at Ghana is no small money. There is no commodity Ghana sells to the world that yet. And this are 5 billion. And quite a conservative figure. Because they come down as
Bloomberg see 8 billion.
And no can the different banks in West Union or my that figure. But them there shall be bottom of Mediaco. A more exchanges are a cost of Jenehana a cost of and non. We are probably nearly about 10 billion. This Ghana economy. Daya BCC, projects business are setting up Ghana for year, the area for near Sabbath not in cheap. Nina, show money, and you cannot. There's a ultimate it's not. It's so insignificant. It is very significant, and Ghana can benefit even more if we open up and we are more inclusive as a country and as a society. And so
I think I like that. Obi message I was sending you. See, this is how I was saying Ghana politicians because I say about diaspora issues there. NDC and NPP issue be about Boama diaspora for to me a contributor to Ghana. So example now make it very impressive. Say Steve Wonder Bagan, Momo, I try you could come on a quamba. Or American, or Baba Ghanaian citizenship.
Na common empty cry, see a man come baby, and I'm honey.
So, a double standard is so unfair. But all these things I know said none about me outlining a vision, or some of them were captured in a vision. Mahama Soya in a vision, or some of them were captured, and that's what I like. Baby, I will keep free say and found who is in power. Baby, I would say, Mubeti may influence policy no aman sakaya ba Ghana for no yeah. Because that's one for mum come make between 5 and 8. Bloomberg see 8 billion. I'm the best Ghana economy. No, there's no reason why also Musika here the major contributor. Cocoa crown my amount of money. Cocoa crown my and why would Abroche for not take an impact? But open answer, baby, I could take us to the Ben almost more 30th anniversary. No, Hobiana.
Ain't about me, Banamia Duma, Miminda Bay is May 25th. Oba about Jumadia ABD of Virginia, Akopramaso, if you could be Alexandria, 5,000 Seminary Road, a honor, it is a hotel in the Hilton Mark Center. The honor DBBA, she says so. But me, Abache, yeah, what diaspora, any Ghana phone, because it's going to be telecast live. The news idea, we move Ghana to the next level as a nation. Yes, a bus.
You know, you should not buy a raising and number can't share about me, and I'm what the kind of name that I aware about port in Seminole. Citizenship need all those concerns or your way.
Oh yeah, well, so but even the initial manifesto, which wasn't I won't call a manifesto, but the outcome of the manifesto now, people say the flat rate, but all these issues. These are issues that affect the diaspora. But also, Shimukina, when we say, and Yama will say, who here, about to raising, that will also bring it to his attention. But all Banon, the answer, or Baba Chagana for a dear, but my year, I made me do as a nation. Episode be a manometi, Papa Numasem. Because Bameo, so you're going to be transformed into episode be Alexandria. I'm supporting you, no material about me as he gives the transformation message.
Do you see a honey here? That Ben Quasiada and as also that Ben.
A women that airway.
Women okay.
Or Alexandria Hilton Mark Center.
Okay.
At 5,000 Seminary Road, Alexandria.
Okay.
The honor page, you reason and question that so you bear picnic. A picnic so or Fairfax. Women that
about picnic, no.
Baby Giant, if you are Canada, also Canada, so the Baby Giant panel of Canada, but
maybe we cannot be there because I think some your fundraising here. The Kaya be no campaigns can be no but also be a campaign now.
The company said so back about a month ago, because a month and a half. Joe Biden here program with DC. New York.
New York. Yes, you yes, can here.
Picture scramble. Paid $100,000 just for a picture. Into these things have become a friend is saying, when you're queen, you're someone know about which I dream. I'm also not be a minor. This is kind of about it's more about the ideas. But if you want to contribute to, because we need to be a vision, I want to contribute to that vision. If you answer by a community, hey, a drum you Ghana, and we are butchering, perhaps to be a baby Ghana. But some balance and mean to me, the MP, but in your branch, I made a my. Instead of fighting for my cause, I mean, me simple what they are boy, letting you have a fight for my cause. I think that is in the right place. We are trying to support the vision to move the nation to where the nation is going to be.
Into mobile contribute to mobile contribute Sikani idea man.
There is nothing formal, but I'm sure Ghana for mobile because of the simple or mechanic. I'm sure that something like that might happen. But as of now, it's a dinner dance. Into the ever say, Yababe Didi, Niasa, Dr. Baumia train, and so there is no fundraising component as of now. But I'm saying Obana said, for some contributed to the campaign. I don't think the BBS whole coin.
Okay. Openi Kofi Tonto ankasa na beka ba wa openi wa si Ghana na anu ya na ofri Ghana. Wo hwe breaking the 8 mbetumi breaki. Ni wo hwe se de Ghana TSC here ya wo beto ye ya.
You betimi break it. Mama nka se menchiro. Mimi say me fi adanse boase Katie Hammond constituency.
Wo fi
adanse Katie Hammond constituency. So
okay.
Me ba Kumasi na me Kumasi.
Achesa ni oni oba ya nyina me aso me free dance me via ya asinde wo 18 mu
connection there. Miss Sharia no pa me call me fi Kumasi e kwa dance bo e bo free. Akwa me can process registration to me be limited e some person go make sure me din wom. Me da me pem na me here den e bo Uber. Me hia car. ebe farm e de me ko mi wie
na se boase Uber ye adwuma ho.
if you come ask me nya bi Uber e de kwada se boase wie na o sa de me buy. But I said life has become so simple. Way and I pay. Na because obi anka sa ho kire ni ho. On we kata ho kire ni Ghana, but 5 years, 10 years down the line. Na sika krampo na. You don't even have the facilities. But since Ghana do pepen so bi so ani maybe say na yedi tutu kwam no. Ebedu maybe no. Life is going to be so simple. Because abocha no that's why I can ho kire wa. But the facilities are there. And that is what we want to see in Ghana. Okay. Break it there. Me are very sure say we can break it because Ghanaians are seeing say policy they talk they help. Obesi me ba me mema nkoko kakra na why you busa won say call online na Google say how many subsistence farmers are millionaires. Try them. It's about you pulling resources together, having cooperative. That's how you become millionaires. Okay. About mobile money interoperability. You link ultimate car with Momo Pay no. Your internet access no. And I create all this Uber ne, Tango ne, Shags in back can be
mobile probability no. And how about Uber ne, Tango no ne ade na ba no.
Because with the internet, because it's no be on here cash or the or internet or the Momo interpol ya no akwapo. What you see man. No pay the this is the Ghana we want to see. Tell me what we say you break it. Ghana ko pa.
But when you buy and Uber who I also dance over father who a further anya kwanta kwan who we.
Send it ye but ye so say kwa the roads cost. But compare this cost. For the future.
You don't say I make a road that so yeah fine ya kwanta ho ko amanse ya ko what they say odotobiri ni ade ko hwe fine dey
Bekwai roads.
Bekwai roads dey dada dey nyina ye Bekwai town roads dey ye kakra.
Yeah, ba. What you saying? Yeah, be can everything. And they when they choose any bibi anwie, you can see progress. And then Ghana for we want to see progress. That's the most important thing.
Okay, yo. My mommy as I be there kon na you hosti Ghana for Kofiton to mama wa kwa bobaya. Any final thoughts about the thoughts and sana Kofiton to about because you ba be cover o mi campaign mu in toto ne ahwe innovation here. Musi question memenda what memenda mbo Saturday.
Nyame adoma memenda ebe May 25th 2024. Ewo Hilton Alexandra Max Center. Na ye di adwumadie no ehhehye so na ehia se Ghana for mo Virginia omo wo patem ho DMV area omomra no memetie solutions bold solutions for the future eno na di Ghana ebekọ mpempenso a ye nyina epase ye hu nti omomra in their numbers call your website www.nppusa.org with my register na waba na yefefe na ba so o ideas bi o sika bi so apasa o di pia campaign na ye beda wase dodo because campaign dey sika na dey you
ya ho kire mu san beje okay say abroche $4 na mo kwaji nti ho ye okay
yes apukura nso to gum nti Only sleeping joke right up picture 100,000 America ha.
Enti ba mi aso ba na obi ni twa picture obetia.
Little drops of water. You are the very piano. You be genia dia boa campaign. We are changing lives and we are changing Ghana. Now solutions. And yes a problem here one yakeka problems na e kwan ye wenya e de na ye afa ho. What are we doing differently? Okay. Because ya bi da o aban ni bia ye bi da but ebu ha ya anya akopem. But now no the kind of thinking na eko de ye no different. Sonko kra the way I fight corruption years ago no wo fa sa kwan ni sisi aso fa so the fight corruption you fail. Obia beka the man mbeka sa egufo adu aban corruption wa fail. But systems and the check corruption.
Okay.
The human corruption di kwa a chile no. See and free ho near twaso koswa see when you do the same thing over and over again expecting a different resource. Einstein am I answer to that. yɛmpase yɛbɛkɔ saa tibia nim ɛno nti na ɛwɔ sɛ Ghanafoɔ a ɛwɔ aburokyire ɛwɔ Ghana mama yɛn support bold solutions for the future. Na saa future no me no mienu yɛka ho, we are part of it and we should support it. Thank you.
Obaya mama na wase bebre Obaya na chairperson of NPP for US ono nso na oye ade bimedie no fundraising no ne ade omo ye nyina esi omo esre so enti ye we are and then me see we are all on NPP for 8 years of NPP in government assessment one kasa rating I would be rating NPP for no send the man I mean reading no more Obaya name is asarbedi akunyo omuntie kofitonto so betie ni nyina be ko omuchim no mo hu se ba omi omuhia ba omi a no mo de am say this is the feedback on the ground. What I had here, meaning say party full soldiers in Chadam Baby, you are very decent people. More from assessment and near reading Obaya name, Mr. Saribedi, Akonom can't about me what people are saying on the ground. Don't good evening, Yapaba.
If you are major, so we have a call.
Adum. That's a campaign. Why I say another campaign? Go for estimate down their campaign. And then the other moving our campaign, you know, I can say no.
Oh, sir. Campaign there eating time there and hard drink kakra. But kakra so.
Okay. My only about me and so far campaign at saying mo campaign mako.
Oba I Mrs. Oba menchia Oba ya ne Janice. Oba ya de me boss prepare.
You come here if you we are a NPP USA me boy.
So me be director. Under Oba time na me be director of communications for
NPP
USA. Ti Oba there. In fact, so Oba me bad boy no the godmother.
Okay.
Oba there be very close to her. Na menchia Janice and so. I mean, share with you for say, oh, show a burger show.
Boganilo, you got a one question no. I'm not telling you, I'm not mean you, pound. I
say, Mr. Oba, NDC for the Obakasi at the school near the or more supporters now. Oh,
Munina, would you and
David, Oba, IET. So we should we are NDC for NC Dimatema. Just by expressing myself, if you say,
me who post no control there. I even posted it here. O control BBC I say NDC for Ntena Honum. Na ebe yo mo ti say Kuma Wudo say telenovela o say
yeah call.
Na mo namba mi anama na do ye campaign om say masa yedi.
Yeah call ahafo. Na enumrebe se no so any fan you see a meme abontin so. And I made it to her say, Moshe African call for the Shia Baumia and Umrea. The Otanan can now di Baumia Tema, a bay was a movie. And Uncle Fuisi, hey, and ye knew a term the other. If you are over 800 comments at MDD found, but it's okay, it's part of the game.
Welcome to the jobs and the humanity. But
maybe
who and I do uncle for share it normal.
You do a Tama Boa Saka.
From both sides.
Both sides, I've been NPP for Bebo.
Hey, NPP for the first one I experienced was President Kufo, a MPP Congress, Trade Fair Center. More MPP for Nana Moya Congress. And I'm not Professor Mills Nabedi idea not here. I think that was 2009. Maybe a President Kufo interview. And President Kufo body gas and back will be the two man say get away, Mom Vemon on our way or NDC. About the other power, they always think that what Ubusa critical questions be our opposition nipa. Me who understand me so every day microphone na kwa President Kufo and Ubusa and go ne. You sue me to be na me microphone. Obi can report you say na ma hwe ne ekrogu baby.
Hey,
I'm telling you. But it's both sides. It's both sides. And one, I'm going to be a book of Yaduma, book of Yadman, Kadenko, Kokoma. One, a former colleague back on Emmanuel Ante, near the war multimedia, MPP boys. And Tokoni, they're from both sides. They all attack media people, but you know.
Anyways,
But yeah, US no man. Buy us only Dr. Baumia Munina Mobako US nibi.
Anyame ya aduma ebeko.
Okay. Okay.
Me dru anyame ya aduma fiada.
Okay.
Ewie US na yakoboa enua no mo nso wo Canada.
Okay.
Ansana yasa beto aso. Nti edi kan no aprobo no ya hyase be se early 20th April or so. Around 20th April or so, date na bitimi kakra. And ye shall see free a poem mantem. Na unse we no ye no mantem tino ye call mantem bia ahinkro. Ye shed down call a mpesua so ankasa. Ye call mantem no ahinkro. Nti ye shall see free a poem mantem de call atoye mantem. If you want to call Western North and a bar ahafo and san a bar bono east. Until we are non near the call a year northeast and a bar savannah and a bar northern and a bar upper east and a DB war a year upper west a year war. Nyamea domoa enam jumedi daira enimuntino. It me call na Christo ya domni bidra. Ibedru ya na dichia na ye sha ase wo eye oti na ato aso voter na voter na aba Greater Accra Nkramponi mantem ifriwa na ekọ central na ifri central ye de nyina chenchire ni nyina bewie ewo Asante mantem enti se obusa de etie no aprobo no de edikan ne fa edikan no ansa na nyame ya adom a ne fa etoso mienu no nso
Ano so mbekwen. Or Covidonto network no. As at continue make messages we Covidonto ha our network need to call no. Na mpese me kind messages but pacho go ahead. O say move free or na mbedu a na mo de ato aso he.
Na me ka say ye free ye wie se maka say ye wie US ne ba ye kotoa so oti voter central Greater Accra Ashanti na de ni nyina be wie 16 regions ni nyina ansa na share round 2 ase ti round 2 no na ye be kompesua na kasa so na yakoye the various constituencies ni nyina so yakọ na ni omo akwakohia ti sa pepepe nti.
Okay. Enti abroche Canada near US na for fundraising and then campaign. Just more kwacha or and it's part of the campaign process.
Oh, sir, on say yen amamra no ema ho kwan say Ghana for a while brochire nso timi kire omadwen fa ya manwesem no. Ena yenuan mo mo abrochire no nso te se de oba ya kan fie be aduasa ni na omaboabo mo ho ano. Me na ime no kasei. Eho na me share manwesem ase. 2010. Ena me share manwesem actively. Before that na me politics, NPP politics, mostly online and social media, etc. But actively, I'm a Jamie NPP USA membership 2010. And umpokra no how many years? And I said 14 years in it. And you demoting Maya, I'm the rising ya Bedrew, Director of Communications for NPP USA. In fact, Nanado Dankwa Akufo-Addo amamwe mu no. Me ha mani a nipa be se adioson kọ wo ha de omufri NPP US omaba omobeboa aban no dwumadi a oye ne chiche enti se NPP US
have been very key part of politics in Ghana. I think NDC cross so be to say Segbefia I know say Segbefia so free NDC UK and I think abroche have been very active in your politics.
Very active. Very in fact, you see an okwa abrochire the activism no e was ropa. And now onam say yen ye wo abrochire ni nti no sabio the time difference no creditable edibo ayen. Me wo abrochire a metie more news kra since me wo Ghana. Me wo Ghana enam say me ye very busy ni nti no me ntimi kra ntie enema bebre. But me wo abrochire me wo office kra na me radio esi me nchen. Metie bibia say efia say me de bia metie o na metie news na ma betie banning issues Yeah, Sifa kan, my bike was season. Enti, day number ye no. Na de ekoso wo Ghana no, meaning bibia. The diasporan is perhaps more informed on Ghanaian political landscape sometimes than even the average Ghanaian here. Unless obi a pure political person or no or Ghana on the politics ne wireless seen as so de bia. So the participation of the diaspora is deep, and you'll be surprised the number of diasporans are. If you are who betting about Diabo, Kufia Dome Diabo, if I mean my wife say, Messer be on was sending me issues are El Coso, El Ghana. She's the one that sends it to me. And this is somebody, this is somebody on Tina Ghana Dao, young one or Ghana. But through advocacy of Nepa Pentino, with Timmy
Ghana nyina.
The activism of the Ghanaian diaspora, you cannot undermine it. It say, yeah, Sabi amanyosem ni ape kendinia. Ehu behia se wobekɔ na one ye nuanom a mo amanone no nso akodi nkita ho. Apart from fundraising asem a wo ka no, de di mu tintiman pa enimde a mo. NPP USA ye free bibi mframakese. Framakese no mintimi nka no pete mu saa. But from 2016 to 2020 elections, Joe Anoche, they are from the diaspora. They are all part of NPP USA contribution to politics and the NPP success.
I don't know why I'm focusing. I say them 80s, no. I'm pushing for return of Ghana to multi-party democracy. Ghana for students be on more brochure. And come home, so Canada and America, no pushy, yes, yanko back to 1992 constitution. It even goes beyond baby. I can send your cannot say no cry no more share as it.
Exactly.
And since then, both sides, NDC or NPP who are brochure for us, are very active. But then, what has been the impact of a brochure for him, Diana, or Modiabe? Because in who your sergeant for or Cotna brochure or Befian and only independence in Yano. Under 1992 is so. Omo mufia brochure my baby Ghana politics and converse no my baby and all my baby joining corruption.
Well, the attorney say you can look at individual contribution and you can look at global solutions. You can look at even the private sector. You can look at governance. So, person who approach for contribution, you can look at various sectors to say, Obaya can be for remittances. And know a form of contribution. Another form of contribution here, obi to say Kwekwas Azan, HK Prempe, other people who are shaping our democracy. So what I say, and they can be memin can be a tintiman ewa Ghana no. It's being shaped by both Ghanaians here and Ghanaians abroad. Ono mo makosua nimdie fiti abrochire ade aba omode boa. Hwe obi ti say abrante e friend Theophilus Echampon. Dr. Theo Echampon.
Theo Echampon, yeah.
This is a diasporan who is shaping our political economy when it comes to issues relating to our politics and our economy. Petroleum engineering, that space in India, one of the best brains are all shaped. In fact, all share reports are all true for Ghana, any idea, determined policy direction. You'll be surprised. Obi to say Bryce Simmons, okay, Ghanaian here to say, oh yeah, also a diasporan contributing. Yeah, BBR bright account, and I'm in any yard. In fact, me, I think sometimes he overdoes it, but in actuality, no. On also the name dear den boa ufa obi to say sabe the private sector kra na hwe nnuma ye nuanom mo wa brochire ababe bi ukọ the various estates adan a yesisi dodo na ye nuanom mo wa brochire dia, so they are contributing to the nation state. Ebi wo ha wo de wani behu, ebi wa unhu, because it may not be quantifiable, so it may be qualitative in nature, but people are helping me. Ameti I have supported the nation state. Sabi me came to me home, but United Airlines Ghana. Ne Ambassador J. Bewa ye nyina ye ta akyire embassy ta akyire ni nyina ye contribution ni bi so
So embassy na adwuma mo ye na the United ba Ghana no.
Of course, United Airlines didn't just come to Ghana.
Okay.
It was the job of the embassy led by a diasporan in the person of Ambassador J. Bewa.
But if you don't I know would that be a good achievement because it's I don't know I am building a airline which because United for every day the money they are making from Ghana alone. It is some bit to me the airline be about then I'm building airline turning up the before was struggling so be from Ghana Airways to Ghana International Airlines. Shouldn't that be the ultimate?
You see, there is a concept in global strategy. Your friend, Utaki, you should look it up. There's a concept in global strategy. You should look it up. Utaki means when you aggressively pursue protectionist strategies. O de bibia wo ye bia no e say ye wo man no de nko ada bi ye nchechire o man sa eno nti na ye hwe comparative advantage. Say ye de Ghana Airways banko a Ghana Airways ntimi mfa Ghana for abrochire nyina ntimi nya den.
That is so.
You must always complement the effort with something else. What you say? Nti sa na tie de ye no mre a ye no na Ghana fo hia sa emwa no go be kai na South African Airlines and South African Airlines went under the water, so they needed another airliner quickly ebetimi aboa Ghana fo a omo abrochira no mo hia sa amwa no. So what you say?
Okay.
It's a different subject that we can discuss in totality. The point that I'm making is that the Ghanaian diaspora has contributed immensely to the development of the nation state called Ghana.
This answer I campaign and some day today, baby, I'm back from voter region near there, and particularly even on his messages near the Mambuza about ATSC. More than 6 months now, more than 10 years now, baby. Na yakwa abato na ene Ghana for beto mama na ehun say 7 January no mu breaking 8 na ya so mu in and I say they another making the 8 which is NDC for they want to make the 8 no. So obi assess mo how would you rate one kasa 8 years am betina konwa so particularly given ne mo kan say yentoma mo na mo beye, how would you rate mo kasa mo?
Say the attorney say you can't say you rate NPP aban. So rating now no ese wo hwe free akwa bebre. You can look at the immediate gratification. There na wo yama ene emprempren Ghana for sebi omubotom ene omusikasem ejina brane. Eno ya ade baako. Ade baako nso a wo behwe nso ye enema a odi gu akwan mu ama oman no daachi ewie mu di efi se wo ma nipa aduane di nne na se daachi wan siesie daachi a eno nso wonya hwe enti Ghana ni bia na woni ni di nkomo no ana Ghana ni bia ye ni di nkomo no, we have to talk to the Ghanaian about the current state and then talk to the Ghanaian about daachi the si ye ni so.
Okay.
For example, Dr. Bawumia can say he would prefer 1,000 interchanges. He would prefer Ghana card to 1,000 interchanges. Sa asem na wokan na ye dachi asem na wokan. But na nipa bebre nya den enti ase. Nchi ase ne say enei wokra wobusa say aden na yemfa ye credit scoring emaye. Because you need to build the fundamentals. It may answer a question. There may can be seen say, "Adia baako a aban we aya for me." And they enipa bebre ne me nyadwen se me ka sa asem wi a. Ba me ka se infie du no achi no. Ghana fo bebre ne NPP be ya adwene ada yewura mampani Akufo-Addo ase. The fundamentals are edi enya for all these years. Se ene evia wo tuwe na nka Ghana aban kra nim se yefra wa fia pokwa.
Now that more passport. I don't know munim obi our passport be so munim. And our birth certificate. You won't our birth certificate. Why would they not know say your friend was Messi?
No. You can't be this a unique identification. See, you can't identification. I me your friend me Kofi. Your friend be so Kofi. it's not enough. Kofi way must be unique.
But so surname no man unique, Anna.
No, your surname doesn't make you unique. How does your surname make you unique? I don't want idea for Ghana.
Okay.
And if I'm in Kwana, I'm Kofi Tonto. Do you know, say, in fact, Mimi Din Tonto no cry yet, and you come on. Do you know the number of people are sending me a message? So, Musu di Kofi Tonto, I know.
Boy, who crowd didn't cry there? Come on, say, Osibisa Papa and Imu, near friend go back to the Tonto, me work.
Exactly. So, your name alone does not make you unique. We needed a society where we can uniquely identify everybody.
Okay.
America, America, no. They needed to build the building blocks. What the mining in our basis? Ghana ni for the first time in our history. Nyamiadum yetimi ayesa foundation na eniyama bebre be ma ye nyina ye ho ahenhan ye no ye be pija esiso. So ati ase for free SHS, for example, time ye buy no, on average about 800,000 students per academic year for the senior high school.
Okay.
And then on average, you are looking at 1.2 to 1.4 million students per academic year. For the last 7 years, I have free SHS per Africa EduWatch, Africa Education Kufia Sasaremu company. 5 million Ghanaians, young Ghanaians have benefited from free SHS. Now, only the wonderful part. Emra na ye free SHS no. Na ye should be a friend gender parity. Sebe yedi oba ne bema etoto omo ho se emfasodi a efri ehumasuya mu ba no omo nyina nya ne pe ana. As of 2016, so ufa mema wo ha bia na ema aduosia nwotwe ena na aduosia nsia na omo nso ko school. So every 100 young students, you had 6 young
Women.
Women are omuko school. And then gender parity no adane. And then for every 100 young boys or young men, you have 106 young women. Do you know what that means? As someone ye papa kweshi agri kan or say when you educate a woman, you educate a nation. Now the foundation ya de chichiro mind, which is the human capital no. Yetimi ashanema. Enti ebia ene sabi uboto mu aye hade badachi umani ndia omubenya ede mfasode abre wabusua no. Eno na ubehu because me tie bra me bre nyina ne se me ba mekai Isaac Tonto, Marali Tonto, nyame ya adom a omonso hyebre ebedru ba bia ebeso ani ana meboa. Bra ye nyina ye bre ye dachi. Enti me ye Ghana ni a susu dia me di besusu NPP no mesusu de ne me nya wa mabrabo mu ne de dachi omoye. These are the indicators. The yen namo aye namo a ye ne Ghana fo edi nkomo no. Ye ne Ghana fo di nkomo afa dwumadi omodi hye yensan fie nwotwe de yaye. De yen timi anye no so yage atum. In fact,
ma atum say economy no man tumi anye because economy dey nkofo de bomudin ebomutiri su de bia send de mo tumi anye.
Efatio. So kan homa yura Mahmoud Bawumia de tudwa. Eye ogefo bosom ne de tosonson e wo UPS na. Na wa kwa enan. Akwa edi kan no say me yeyi me say me meye Franka Tuni ema NPP aban. Akwa etosumi no wo say me na me ka NPP aban ho dwuma yetimi di ye nyina ni. Ne nokre ni de chimaka kretimi ba ho ni okan ni nyina. Na de etosumi ensa. Okan say me as Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia, Omanpanyi ka kire me say, ye wo niema bi a edi oman Ghana nya from mfie bebre. These are what we call systematic challenges. The person wodi nhihye yegu akwan mu ne yi sa systematic challenges ni free ho. Enti hwe ne boa. Enti ono no nso kan about 33 policies or the boa or the aba boa ma yi sa systematic challenges ni free. Na akwa eto so 9. Eyo ono no nani so ade hunu as an individual or also visionary or what edema of my Ghana. So if you read the second part where we talk about the collective responsibility of the government or ka abinding nyuma waye edi aboa na ogitum say ye wo niema ba ko mienu bi a ye asia amasam ye sikasam ahokyere kakra ba nti mani so ade hunu no mpo no we ni niema meye etimi di aboa ma standard of living abafom. He accepted that something must be done about the standard of living. I didn't think that say be fast standard of living because ye jitum say enei
but I think I'm comfortable expect say can do beba no openly nye UPSA na wa be kan akire Ghana for jitum say niema nkoyie na economy no people comfortable adwene ne say mu dwane akose free SHS mu dwane akose digitalization na ne campaign okọ nyina ba omi ammo so da say economy ne de say dem America for bro for mu say we messed up on kan sa da nti wo ka say ono ane vision nim no ogitu mu say aniema nkoyie say de o mpese enkoyie no but people want him to own up.
Yeah, but you see who can niema bebre bomu o say we messed up aniema nkoyie aniema you say they are not the same.
They are not the same.
They are not the same. They are not the same. Enti asem no say who can in any case
economy enkofo say economy ne de aniema nkoyie na o munim so say ye de Dr. Baomi aba no ade ba ko a o mapani na na do kan ye to o mutirim ni say ye de ba se wo mekyekyere economy ni yie because na na do de obi anim so onye obi a wonim sikasem baba omi ade omi anim so o competent a wonim sikasem eni se na achia na sikasem no dollar no e keka ko 17 a na wo se ye busa ne say bra anya yie na bagitum na nkofo komanto o mo yem se ankoyie ase we de odwane wo mo
if you want to make sure say who read this speech now okay at the end I more profound say we be jina simple so be say don hwere mienu na only Ghana for din komo that's a direct conversation with the nation a kruchire gun krata so anya asem a wo kan gun framam kaka ya asem a yebetimi akofa nkrata no ne arefel dache and I make sure say sankrata no kenkan a oka sansem. In fact he takes time to even discuss the exchange rate and the economy. Nera Mahmoud Baumia campaign na no the first round he's not running away from anything. And check, you see him on the airwaves
talking about the economy and assessing.
He's going to talk about everything.
Okay.
He's not running away from anything. In fact, he has said in the speech, Adebako Amehu be back on the said, Enipa be brain shared down to a mobun share speech, you know. Because speech, you know, or can say, the the challenges by you know, we are proud of the contributions we have made. In fact, Osaka said, I am proud of the advice I gave the president. So how can
he's proud of the advice he gave the president?
Nina was speech. Go and read the speech. If you read the speech, he talks about all of that because as the head of the economic management team, his job is to offer cogent and sound advice to the president. And he is proud of the advice he gave to the president. He says it in the speech. And how can Obia, what can same way Obi betimi baby say he's running away from the economy or from the government? No, never. He is going to take responsibility for the positives and the negatives or the challenges. And your problem, through the airwaves.
Okay.
Journalists will get the time to ask any and every question they want to ask. And your problem. Yeah, no idea, no, ya share than ya tra them na ya kuchile be a good crata so near you. Share Emra ni share yen campaign say. Ukra me kasa Kofi na as a political party, Ghana for Shemanim, a dear na mo catch laying. A ben a mobile bontini abedin komo. As a responsible journalist, you ask. Because I also petunia, as all babontima Ghana for whom one know this and amebwa. You ask. If you only me by your say, now what you mean, son, say, now what you mean, no, ye see from no. What do you mean by your say? And Yama Adani.
Oh, near madam, because research no so chese and this is fully demo. Money Daniel in terms of
their research actually be new be any challenge. Okay, or the research be will be an fabra. We are not going to disrespect anybody. We are not going to undermine anybody. There will be a fabra. Yen de see any soon say ye be ye juma den ne Ghana for din komo achira omo di ntia ye sefata so omo fa fie nan enkan ho. But obia or your objective bia be ka achira say na wotwe mienu ko na wotwe miensa ye wura Mahmood ba omi asi form no. Ampa obia hu say brantie no ogina brane. Na nka nipa bi kura fi say NPP de ye ntimi kura nkwa abonten koye campaign. But wo hwe akumapa ene anigye ni osebo Ghana for the G and so every region we went. And ma wo say yes. Bia obi wo ho ade ba ko mienu miensa bi ne bonyo so. Bia obi wo ho ade ba ko mienu miensa bi ono nya adwene. But at the end of the day no wo hu the overall contribution this government has offered. Yeah ba pray. Ye ne ye ko region bia. Ye ne the clergy Asia. We are any imams Asia. We are any the traditional leaders Asia. We are yako the various markets, garages, magazines, door to door, room to room, window to window. We are any mebunu ababishia. Any clergy, imams, any the chiefs nishia. Omu aka omani gisem any arechichisem actually ye no. They also raise questions about the Nema Omuwa they feel say challenges.
Okay.
This is all part of the democracy. For example, so who come man temu a yachichire no foforo to say we also Western North
new regions no
new regions. They will tell you say ya damwase pa se mabe create our regions ya man say you also man hene say kaneno se ofri sehwi impatemu ho a won se sehwi impatemu ho no ye wo se you also akontomra debiso dwaboso bodi and asanwene so sa enclave no na ye part of Western region. But from that enclave to Western region capital, which is Sekondi Takrade, you know, it's about 7 hours drive. 7 hours. It is a impuntunyuma bi na eba Western region a ebi call Sekondi Takrade na ebi atakwana no omo de ya den yetwa omoja. Enne ya omo no nya omo mantam no kropon no ewo sehwiyo so. Kohwe akwan a yeye, kohwe RCC a yesidi ama omo is one of the finest in this country.
Regional Coordinating Council offices, no.
You see, modern state of the art. Who the upper will produce and Google no fan to screen so. Then call for police command, regional directors, regional police command, regional health director, regional everything. Almost when you're there, Mama can in Damasiri, no. Almost say acquiring the Maya view. Say you also acquiring the Moye, Chronomu quine the Moye, and so Alubo quine the Akakakra. We the akakakra ebia yensu ebia yehia university ebia yehia tertiary institution we eno kire say wono ani so de waye ye dawase that is said the Oliver Twist kind no ebi nya den ebi nsamra biu
yo na I don't know some wrong as I would say nkofo ka se nkoyie because our projects here okay police stations regional coordinating council offices obi be busa say no ye bedi eno be fix dollar ni cedi exchange rate no. Because one when the fundamentals are weak, the city will expose you. Would that fix it?
And I make sure say penny for na ye no mushia. Omu nim say edidie hu hia. But omu nso nim say da achen so hu hia. Ti na medical catch us o mabo wabaso e won hihye a wodi ahihye nyina no. They would ask questions. For example, ye call Takrade. So for penny baku busa questions for DDEP home. So what I say. So
a DDEP no no patch saying. Kofi wants to be fix where you need Kofi kakari back or see Kofi don't the network na freeze. I don't know why it has frozen, but Kofi Kakari Kose. Baba. Because afraid, don't forget that the current global economic crisis is being felt in America. I mean, so Obi no only Obi because in for commentators, sometimes they also have a battle, their own discussion on the comment section. Say, and yet just global economic issues affect economy. No, and a Prince is such as say. Or say politics is not a job. They should just leave Ghana alone and go and find a job if they are suffering. Because Obiaba or say na politics in Yeduma, you can go and look for a job and do that. Samia Moano say pensioners are not afraid. Pensioners are not paid, and you think we will come back and vote for Baumiana. These are also some of the concerns. For the mama feedback 8 years or say pensioners or musica my. I saw the encounter between nurse no any Dr. Baumia Nano. Minim said that why Western regional. But me who say UTV crop publishing video. Yes, Kanama nurses for now. They were showing Omumomo information about and they were very excited about the fact that omu complaining here now. Baumia cast or Bemo Marco check no and they are Musikano Abba. But you saw that encounter between nurse no and Dr. Baumia.
And only yes, our question now. Ababa wani busa na ye
Techiman yo.
Techiman no busa sa kosa. In fact, baby ani akobia no, ye nuanom nurses for no mu busa sa kosa. Enti eno na ye call na lerigo no, ye rade tu dwa se nkitahudie bi koso a nyame ya adom a eye na wotwe a ye si hu ye nuanom nsa beka omosika. Enti sa pepepe na sese no once what year I say UTV for
yeah, publisher. I was trying to even get the video now. I'm posting Obia who say this was the feedback from the nurses themselves. I think they were jubilating. And one of them, a video, no, they send it by a UTV. But Kofiton, and also in Chester, all is well. I mean, 8 years, that's why I'm okay, and he looks good and all that. Yeah, you say economy no issues, fundamentals, no. Basically, the whole issues are. Example of the fundamentals having issue is dollar any cedi exchange rate, as they say, air climb Aqua 7. Era Amwabe UT Bank former CEO say, Onimse Beka Kodu Bronya na Kodu 20 or 20 plus. We also know Dumso is going on. Yempo, Baumia is the candidate, but he still remains the vice president of the republic. Only our contract from the previous promise, only and they say, or no, as part of Nanado team, no, they will fix the economy. How do you explain this to voters? Say, when you know, when you do so, you know, still on to Abama Baumia.
You see, do I be done your friend or I a boaf? Yeah, buy no. Osha Huchira, you cool more. A year 2022, make I October, bosom minimum. And a dollar no. A man whom ne super ma CD no etifye. I think it was first week of October 2022. Emma dollar no koya could do be 16 CDs in 4 days. And so ye den hihye egu akwan mu a manyame ya adom. Last year ye nyina ye hu ye say CD no na pagya ne mu a etimi ba ya bedru be 10 kakakra bi mpo na nke drew 9 ene nei ohaw no asa babio de kire ne se aban wei ya aban a ohaw a ye komu no se Ghana fo ma ye mra ye betimi aso ano ye sika sem a ene yenya challenges wo no uka na obi ne wudi achinye se ande monko na covid atom na monko na Ukraine atom ebu ompa na omo de Cote d'Ivoire ne ade ye mfato ho. But the dynamics are not the same. The dynamics are different. And now me know can say Nigeria omo headline inflation it could do 35%. Nigeria naira it's equally suffering. Over the sub-regional economies are ube who say omo headline inflation ewo from no omo currency no ejina brand no the francophone countries. Because their currency is backed by the French economy.
Okay.
And they are about several countries are when you use one currency. Enti ne fapem no e wo soro sen ye de no. Ye so ye de yeah an open economy. You can't open economy and the children say uniema bebra wo ye no esunsunsanso no fi abonten na ye den eba ebenya so eti se bibi etichima kakra bi wa abonten a ebenya sunsanso so nti na ba omi aka say when the fundamentals are weaker the exchange rate will expose you ma men chiro ase ye ka dollar to cedi relationship a simple o de tie nyina ne say dollar dodo sen na wo ena cedi dodo sen na chase sa dollar patcho what you say enti se wo reserves a ansa na ohaw ni nyina beba no na yen reserves a yewo eda ho about 9 billion 9.4 billion US dollars say sika no so ahwan enti dollar yewo gu ho anka se be dwadi ni bi hia bi a obetimi anya bi no saa dollar no ebi ni ho ena sika no dodo na chase dollar ketwa bi a aka. It tells you that a DNA woyɛ de aboa o fundamentals no sɛ ne be ya one you can reduce the demand for the dollar and until near the gold for oil buy no the idea behind the gold for oil is say reduce the demand for the dollar and also enam IMF in hyehyɛ ya ye de ho akɔbata ne ti no IMF say ye de ensa to gold for oil ne so kakra it is say munyai so we cannot aggressively do the gold for oil. So what you say? So people say
okay.
People say na gold for oil la mo de buy no akosi saying the akosi ni say IMF conditionalities ne baako includes putting some relative stop to some government decisions. Say niema we ni mumfa mo munya den munye mu kakra na yenhwe niema bi enti niema yebetimi aye ni ade aso oman ni sikasem no mu no ye baumia de bebre egu akwan mu ma one example since independence gold and ye wogu ye vault mu nyina was 8.7 tons gold and ye wogu ye vault mu nyina 8.7 tons so we a calculation of $60,000 per kilo of gold now we have multiplication now ubehu say 8.7 tons brings you up to bear say $560 million. Sika ni wogu nyina. And na Yewura Mahmood Bawumia say debi. Say yansesa fundamentals no. Na yanto gold ni bia ngu ha. Dachi bi no sa o ha we ba bi wo a yentimi nso ano. Enti yen starting yen to gold ento ho. Enti na me no ka say nyame adom yetimi ato gold edru 34 tons. 34
ah hunche bi buy no na be ye backup e betimi use.
Yes, but it is not enough. We need to keep buying. But here is the case IMF nso say tobo kakra. Eti ka the speed a wobetimi de ato egu ho nanka by now e bia wo 100 tons. No wo translate the bad dollar mu a eye sika twitwiri die a wobetimi de abaki wo economy no. You have a slowdown in that process. And until na Yewura Mahmood Bawumia say nyame ye adom a ye kɔ ye nim no yen gold nimpo no de aka no unsa wo hwɛ Ghana ye was 7 gold belts from Winneba to Laura to Nangodi sa 7 gold belts ni nyina no say de yetimi ayusu no ye be ohamu abupan aduonum de aka no ye ohamu abupan aduonum a no de yemfa yensan kan. And no geological survey research on Modia Banachre say Yetua about 5 billion ounces of gold, which translates to about $10 trillion. Tierra Mahmood Bawumia says, Sa gold na yenyan fa yensan kan yene de. E ma yemfa ma abonten sufo bio. Na if you want the entire ye gold ma abonten sufo. Because ye mra no kire say Ghana ban na gold ni ejapade ni nyina e wona be
ne dia
but ukwakin kan ye Minerals and Mining Act ni so a o se de obeba be hwehwe agudie na obehu no or the first point of refusal it is our broni ba no obehwehwe no ohu a chi se broni ni ka so won pe so pe de a eso Ghana ban won ne ko etna se na mo sensan krata na wotu
Na say okay very well
yera mamu ba omi ase saade no yenye bi onti ene ada ne yemfa sika ma eye geological survey
no mo hwehwe
any umat any une no mo hwehwe ma Ghana aban na Ghana aban timi nka se we de media me de mame manfo na me de mame manfo a me manfo ni tu a for the first time me meto gold ni nyina de ma ho odin beto bia me meto ni nyina
Kofi don't na man for questions I dey na 8 years some of these things mo nyeye because 8 years my year and fundamentals would have changed me
if you are people are not taking the time say 8 years no was it a linear curve? Was it a smooth sailing? And you see, you cannot ask a
question. You had the power to make it linear. More than the power say smooth sailing. We have given you the power. And this is smooth sailing. How do you come back to Oman for to say, oh, smooth sailing because of ABC? Because not just a more opposition, more assessment of how linear you can make it.
Then you can talk about every country say one assessment. America, soon drew America American, they only had about 3 million oxygen. Statistics about out there. They had about 3 million beds. Okay, and obi yari a bedaso.
And your COVID that was at the and America issue was different.
No, you are not understanding my point. We will see. Then I am planning for the who say linear that, and I make sure say if that is the argument, then you can say the same for America, Krana, and yet the most advanced country in the world. So they even got caught flat-footed.
Okay.
America got caught flat-footed. Me no can say Joe Biden by and that inflation was 1.5%. It could do 9%.
That's true. That's true, Mom.
So are we saying that America didn't prepare? So the global economy faced a major challenge. And we are see might be or catch and say, "Otimi prepare." In fact, Ghana and Podie, ye boy ya basu say, yen yetimi boy my who by kane. And our refi Ghana was number 2 when it comes to COVID management. CNN, Washington Post.
So why can't we recover? So what the Ghana to America, they are recovering.
They can
recover. They say we see the dollar, or even the COVID. It forced you to go back to IMF. And the one said the one case I explaining COVID needs IMF watch it because why to me manage you would not have any business going back to COVID. Now IMF I bet you chose a gold for oil.
Oh, you see, one can recover quickly. In fact, America is not fully recovered.
It is not. But they are using their own reserves. They are using their reserves.
If you go there, go and check.
America don't borrow from why?
Who told you that?
And to show me the statistics that shows that they are borrowing.
Go and check the American debt profile since COVID. Go and check. Over $6 trillion.
From where? From EU
America borrows money through bond issues. They issue bonds. That's how America borrows money. Go and check.
It's normal even business or finance issues, and which explain the into interest rate cost so slightly, But I know it's okay. But domestic bond borrowing, you still couldn't solve your problem. You run to IMF. See, America says slow down when you're comparing Ghana to America, because anyone know I'm gonna say. So what might go be? Well, coffee will system not say freezy bill. But so let me take advantage and read this message. Thomas Boateng will say, the truth is the truth. Even if no one believes it, I know there is the truth. You shouldn't waste your time on such debate because black is not capable of ruling. Well, black is capable of ruling. Absolutely. Etina Emma Obama Krabet in America saw a black. Rwanda president saw a black. And Chroma the independence man saw a black. So don't send me racist comments, but you focus on the issues now. Yeah, come on, Sam. Ed Meffel. Also, Kofitonto, you go explain to ya. Well, Kofitonto, in economy, Yeah, sometimes when you want to make your political party look good, you never could do. And it's on my yenes casamunya, and yen an eble, and you'll be an eble. Yen an eble. What is it? And yen you could do good. It's like come back to
you
it
see,
to
I'm not comparing America. Maybe you are not understanding the America. I cannot compare America to Ghana. It's not what I'm doing. What I'm telling you is say you have to look at the data. And I will tell me say, na say mono mwanya linear curve na eno de ibe na me cho say ewiase nyina no eto obi a ewiase nyina no eto obi a and I may cite America as an example say omo nso kra na nka yebetimi aka say omo ye the most advanced country in the world in Pono. They were caught flat-footed. Because how na buy no be anywhere obetimi aka say or planning totally for it.
Okay.
And a so no economy no afi na efi free sin. And fundamentals are ye kan ho asem no. Go and check say ye buy no did we work on the fundamentals ana? If you check the data shows yes indeed the fundamentals were being worked on. They were improving. One, reserves increased from 6 billion to 9.3 billion. Two, check inflation, it dropped. Check interest rate, it dropped. All indicators showed say there was a clear direction na yeko baby. And then the global disaster came and caught us flat-footed, just like the whole world. Na yen recovery no ebeye extraordinary because yen de no ye sabin content kra yen so ye free sin yen so no apart from say ye free sin no ye sika sem nyina sa dan obi enti ye bebre no obi aka kire say ade na Burkina mre ade na Cote d'Ivoire na maka kire say omo no de omo sika sem no ye wo ekuro bi a ye friend France a omo hye omo achi a omo boa omo enti omo nso timi gina na mom kohwe Nigeria omo ni saa emwa ne bi kohwe de eto omo kohwe other African countries omo ni saa emwa ne bi na hwe de eto omo. So we can look at the data.
Okay.
And the data shows that there was a progression. And
By
then
a channel by and a bit truncate is our progression.
Okay. Who read the
and to to me bounce it back because countries need be our body and be more bounce it back. If you're not of them, you know me, they're bounce it back. They are back on their feet. Singapore, no me, they are back on their feet.
Who if you UAE guy petrol mutu no bi na otu.
Enye bi na etu mom there. Enye bi na etu mom there.
Na onu ni sika unya ni bi na unya.
Enye bi na enya there, but I'm saying that omo nyina stabilize. Nti ade na afa there ye no so worse more. Because you look at where the dollar is now. Look at where your inflation echo. Nti why are we sleeping? If you to me stabilize, of course, minim see stabilize kakra. After COVID, any Ukraine war and stabilize, we can't stabilize for a while. But why are we still sleeping? Why are we now sleeping again?
Can I make sure say, even the slippages now will come once. So we could share the top African performing countries in terms of petrol prices, in terms of currency strength, etc. You'll be surprised. Say Mpono Ghana still no, we are competing. And yes, Mejitum said there are challenges. And Nuntina Bino Aka time and again said there are challenges. CD, so Bashanya Bear say, as in Bosumi Bears, Bosumi Anina, Sao Hawi as I started you. Meboa. Just about a month ago. And now all of a sudden, how no I started be. In fact, what some of the experts are saying, and we know, some experts are saying, and they say, the last 3 months, Nigeria, Naira na a fall na. A lot of them were coming to Ghana to take the dollar from here.
No more
because who need proper safeguards you are susceptible to so many shocks. So Nigeria Naira flatten to the extent say a lot of them were coming here to buy the dollar to take away. It won't say who Ghana and all of a sudden no one shock be a untimin so ano. Enti Yajitum said there are challenges, no two ways about it. But in the face of challenges, a day na bino etimia ye diabwa. yetimi atua sebe wono mo ye aban adwuma yetwa obi aka na nsen pa kanea ema ne homne so ana ha yen kakra obi a no be ya dwen say for the last 2 weeks ya started say stability in the electricity enyanye 100%. But say say first no na 40% challenges are. Say no utimu say improvement ayeden aba. Ye koye nim kakra. Enti efia de kan say Ghana fo be hwe de ye beto ye ne de yetimi aye. Ene ohawa beto ye nkwan mu a ede saa akukurahwe ase yi aba nyame adom ye pagya ye mu kakra. Hwe inflation baby ekodu ye 54%. And then the last about 25%. Kakra esisa. We have to be honest with the Ghanaian.
But Kofi, also a name okay, now so na Cote d'Ivoire for now they have a backing from France currency, and yeah, they own him. The reason why sometimes people struggle so mbeti their work and they say any NPP for generally and they say NPC for honor doom so start here time a more economic crisis in 2014, 2015. Call IMF near there. More NPP for more shada and chilemu and omo de mano. They were saying say sometimes not Ebola, but Ebola affected Liberia and other places. Ghana had to move in and help. That was here setting up near maybe I want to full issue. There was a general economic issue. Of course, then COVID there. But even those explanations are NDC demand at the time. Man, jam to in fact, more catch NDC was more catch NDC was so Bianca so be increasing taxes a very cheap way of managing the economy. Now, the moving Ghana from production to then from taxation to production. So why is it that some production hasn't been able to solve Ghana problems? And
I make sure say go back and look at the data and juxtapose it with the challenges that confronted us. Go back and look at the data for Mahama and juxtapose it with the challenges that confronted them. In all humility and honesty, can you compare the impact of COVID to Ebola? Wo baby a wokọ kra wo ne ma
pandemic, but
Ebola was not a pandemic. A pandemic is a global TO. You can have an epidemic and you can have a pandemic. Corona was a global pandemic that halted global transactions to the extent say baby a wokọ kra wo ne ma frimpo no omunya nsunsuanso a san nsunsuanso ni bi ba wo so yen as an open economy no ye niema ye kra no yen kran free Cote d'Ivoire and yen kran free Ebola ridden country Congo ye niema ye kra no ye kra free specific countries they came to a halt because of the global pandemic. You can't compare. And then number 2, the comparison they made was commodity prices, i.e. cocoa prices and then gold prices. These are commodities. The value or asset of it, vis-a-vis your GDP, negligible to a certain extent. Share the value of cocoa. Cocoa syndicated loan saying 1 billion. Compare 1 billion.
1.8. Baby, I'm
1.8 billion. Compare 1.8 billion to your overall GDP. Compared to your overall GDP, it's negligible. Take gold prices. Gold prices, unim how Ghana in sika free.
Hello, Kofi. Well, Kofi is talking about the Ghana economy, no. Any issues, no. He's trying to explain why I was saying Ghana for some too many candidates, but one of the breaking news I heard is any of my hopes and I'm matching because when him said I'm saying he's made comments about about 2 or more tono or more some time ago when he was with NPP and son NPP mono omoko near my water region, one of the regions to pay dynamite to baby just to scare people and conform. No Monday any hopes in Kasawa and say any other issues since onokra ka say do baby onu enim say MPP for nya there obi abetime win elections na or more air komo no ebeko second round. In some of those comments now hopes he making it in a omachina so that he can give them better particulars about and some we are trying to get hold of him to find out a year friends and possibly what evidence he has I know that this is going to be very interesting because about issues upon issues and about one of them is also because of hopes because they know NPP and as they say only NPP mubium. So there's some kind of bad blood between and NPP for and again if we party maybe some kind of secrecy be an ABB. Well, for right now we don't know. About some of these things parties probably you will not even get any actual evidence or paperwork to support that these things actually happen. But this is the information we are picking up here. Try say and Sabeka hopes in now quickly and then Akasani said the no AT&T. So like I'm saying, for all the because 8 years of NPP government, this is exactly the 8th year. I atwama NPP for rate say ko ye ana enko ye. Achia ana encha let your voice be heard because Dr. Baumia Otie. So on one him say you people will give him the best feedback. And yet the Umbeko campaign usually that is not very good feedback. What I say. And see the same way you can compare the resources at the time. And sana Kofi Tonto Kokasi resources are now forward and the ancient near Busefia catcher and so on compare resources ben and Mahama and sana Ebola nomini at the airbanum. Not or say so you mess up and reduce and let's say and you want us to applaud you. What kind of warp logic? Now, so where you know very clear, but let me know exactly what you mean by this. Thomas Boatin or say if you're the black man is not capable to rule himself or but you know, so my catch say it's true. There are lots of black countries that are being ruled by black people and they are doing well. So don't bring color of their skin into it. Say you are doing any obi color. Adwene edi buma any obi color mu. E wotrim. Focus on the issue. Julia to say, that's fine. We should he should go and explain. Okay, minim Juliet ni pakra opese oko explain the echreno. From mind they say, what record did the NDC leave behind? What has been destroyed by the NPP government? Or say a hypocrisy in kwan ebi mu pese omo ye because you mbusa NDC for the record papa ben and omu giant to obi abe say na omo pese omo be kan okre na omo ebe se chinchine a NPP for aba be ye abechia the NDC for not to be destroy what NDC left. What did NDC leave? The question on dog again or if I still don't understand Baumia's explanation at the town hall on the exchange rate. He even confused himself because I said more cano or quite no assign Eddie Ababe see the cheek. Thomas Barton, what baby? I think Thomas Barton message you keep sending it. I'm telling you, there is no scientific to say that. Yeah, prime person under Obama MPP for 10/100. Omon Shadan Yehute be at 10/100. Kofitonto, Mami Sambusa, this issue that you were raising, which is I'll say, but first, all the appear cry every 100 million coin to why you want Ghanaians to vote for you again. Because if you check from the commenting feedback and Crawford baby man, or more patches say, a Jumana Shadan so Enisa, it is a more person almost Antoma Mubiodi, and now you have to explain to them. Dear Nawaya, what distinguish show based on their car say. Explain that one to us and then they will come back and vote for you. Godfred Asantino said probably those in Ghana may be unaware of the economic situation, but we in the diaspora are very much aware of how the pandemic was exploited to misappropriate funds from Ghana coffers for personal gain. Into obesity and say a COVID ne crowd COVID tonto canon for years can the among diverted scanning to personal pockets and also can some dog or say Nanado has failed disgracefully. In fact, that JDM did not perform, no, doesn't mean that we should do the same thing. Or say Nanado and Yejumani Yenti. The fact say JDM Ejuma so any no, and non chess Nanado so by a money Juma so MSONI. Afro minds leaders matter, leadership matters. God bless His Excellency Nanado Danko Akufo-Addo. We have been focused and steady and reliable, and the leadership of Dr. Baumia is possible 2024. No, and no any litmus now and a glue now. About shifting Amagana. No. One in time say, how many responses do you have to send? One in time, minimum background in Enya. Or the Enyan is how many responses do they have to send? The question that I wanted you to address was that why should people return and give the vote back to Baumia? Because Baumia is trying to continue adwuma but they are okay nkofo bebe so I say they don't even want to accept your explanation. So what are the key things areas? What am I explaining? Just mention the key areas. I would say more excelling, and therefore you need another mandate to continue from where Nana Dube.
Okay, if you say sector by sector, for health, this government has taken some of the boldest decisions when it comes to health. Say, oh yeah, 111 hospitals at a go. Apart from the we data to say a ferry, and then I say for we to say kono dia wakwaku bi ano kumewu dia enye ne ye start ye de bayaba be we ene di aka. Yeah, cheap compounds, the clinics are yeah. Ayawa so ya wogon ya na no na many minister kasa sanitation minister on MP wo no ka kire me say o ma wie ba ko a weti commission. Aside from that, 111 district hospitals are. I can tell you say by close of the year at least a move 40 to 50 the ebetimia commission
by the end of this year.
By the end of this year, because share the tracker now, those 40 to 50 no you're over 70% complete. Aka kakra bi okra na aka machinery a yedi begum any the most of them e bi 80 something and no wo yemfa akwan. This government has done the most roads in the history of this republic. The most roads. If you're out to me,
I may focus on you so that your attention will be on you and what you're saying.
The most roads in the history of this republic, 12,000 kilometers, being it re-graveling, newly constructed and maintained. 12,000 kilometers. Fiamino can say Kumasi Accra Highway is being dualized. Kumasi Accra is being dualized from Ofanko to Nsawam. Yeah, 10 lanes.
And then, okay, 10 lanes, okay.
10 lanes, 5 from Ofanko to Nsawam. Udru Nsawam baby de Kodjo Krom to Apega Junction, they BM1 for the last 2 years in dualized already. Udru Apega Junction, ye be regravo, ye be resurface a hono, the aqua kudru, on baby a lenda do one. Mi refi Esiakwa Junction.
Esiakwa.
Udru Esiakwa Junction, wa obe hu se ye BM1 ye dual carriage and only Osino bypass. Ni aye Inyirisi bypass. Ni aye Anyinam bypass. Ni akoye Konongo bypass. Ni nyina dualized. Oba Cape Coast Road in Nswa, Kanswa to Winiwa ye. Oba Adenta to Dodowa ye. Aside from interchanges, 13 interchanges. Aside from that, major feeder roads to say Techimentia yaye. Major roads, nothing compared in the history of the republic when it comes to roads. About education, eno de yen campo, and niama abanwe aye, and now me no kase abanye si 6 STEM schools are. The standard of the school is like a university. I am sure say wahu abomusu de no. Meboa.
Any to my interview I have with the videos near the
You've seen it. Aside from that, if you say yes, even JHS education to the extent say building a yesi JHS no. It's a new design, new concept. I'm sure say Honorable Educhum the pictures in 5 million young Ghanaians and are benefiting from free SHS. 5 million and they achieve gender parity. In the history of this republic, for the first time, a Madoduoko High School cinema. For the first time. We are building the foundational blocker, Yadibe Peja or minus issue, which is the digital identification. And there's 17.6 million Ghanaians. And I yet me more the digital identification, unique identification. And then Ghana, Yahu Abofra. Oko weyina ye mano identity. Ghana ye wu abofra ne na se bosumi oko weyina akra ni nya na identity free mofra brem. One more madi 6 to 15 also ye start through NHIA. Ayo mu nyinaa so registration. Apart from that, ene hwemfasodia Ghana card edi abrey as a nation. Menu ka say in the next month or two, Ghana be starting credit scoring. Credit scoring, yes, say dachi asemo in the next month of two, Ghana ha yebema obia nyano, and it is going to be on what we call the Citizen app. Ghana ni bia de Ghana card they be downloading the Citizen app.
Now credit score.
Well, now we started to build your credit score on it. We are building a modern nation. We are building the fourth industrial nation. And see, Ejuma aban we are here in terms of infrastructure, unprecedented. Suku ahodro ayesi, hospitals ayesi, akwanya ayaye, unprecedented in the history of this republic. But ni nyine chino ye jitu munsu se ebasi kasemwa or how kakranso aba. Nemom yen ya kire se nyame ye yadom na niema si brania yebetimi aye even in the challenges I face yempo no yetimi so ano ma dollar ne sa ba ya bedru 10 ema niema bo sa e hya ase ba for the first time one tis a cement e kodru 100 e sa ba 80 I be kura na e ba 70. I'm sure you heard petrol and diesel could do 23.99. Petrol could do 17.99. SRT baya bedru 10 something. And it's will say we have what it takes to build it. And one thing I hear Mahmoud Baumia said, me sabe oba mpa wane odani kunechi. If you order ring I barrier show sa odi church with TV.
That's also what show there.
Uni ukura oye ukuru wo ni swadi hunu. Na ukuru so wana ni swadi hunu. Sabe ntafo mpo aya wo mo dako obi a wana ni swadi hunu. Enti Yewura Mahmoud Baumia se medie me akwapa no kwafo a me babe so miwura maso miwura wo no kware kwan so afen na mensu mani swade hunu me pese me yede magana enti me de mani swade hunu atudwa ebi ni sen ebi ni se yanhwe kwan a ye fa so gigi yeto taxes. How are we going to revamp our tax system? We need to bring flat tax enti me ko Estonia na makwa akosua kwan a ye fa so flat tax wakoye wode nhihye nyina egu akwan mu a nyame ya adom obi bebusa se aden na ne wonye ne but if you dey tie ne se wo kan ya mamre 1992 constitution na the ye budget man no vice president so nim sa de the budget is read in the name of the president of the republic. It is about me so the tax amnesty beba oni sa to me no yen constitution mo so the tax amnesty beba. It is the law. She said, Akufo-Addo aka say me person me the tax amnesty ba. And I'm
well, so president no the leader of the government no. But Omiaro only nye exceptional kakra because of campaign message amoka kire say oba. Ono there he was the economic guru. That is how our president no kasa introduce him to us. And we tell for the so bobo to onye mate sir. Onye aplanke sir in the typical sense of it.
FA Machira will say, even if your argument in Mpa ye can Baumia nim dia or the bebuano president and Kasa Baumia bebuano as a second president. President Kasa Baumia bebuano as a vice president and Ameboa. What did the president ever say Baumia be a second president of Ghana? Debbie also about bebuano as an advisor on the economy.
That is why people feel like it's fair. Says about me, and so near as head of economic management team. No, I'll see the blame no man. Then you say young China or no bedini dia now on what fix it.
You see, this kind of debate, you know, I am pushing into where people will say any who they blame or
hello, Kofitonto. I'm saying, well, on network, no. The show must go on, said the Ekano. Akwe Steven, or say, my guy, listen very carefully. Ghanaians will first score and judge the past 8 years, and ya will any Baumia, any more NPP, and Omo Betchere said the score mo yeah say enko ya ye na be score mo Joseph Boa and say NPP is the best on the Kofitonto kan you ginidi because onim se niema na Kofitonto kan nyina eye niema eye true issues na no explain no Muhammad Ali no say everyone will check their life and vote for the next leadership nya de ye beto aba ama mo said the first ne ye to aba ne say ye nto no say abio ye beto ne yie pa according to said the yan ye check your life wa ye hunu GH Kwame say hostel versus head pan for kaya ye the difference is very clear nti obi so be hostel obi so ba ya o de pan na o de amankrofo o so no wafa ne ho adwene edada nti ne de eno no Kwame say we cry to Kofitonto kan cry say signs of opposition omo beko no 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 nim no ready in Gambo say master mention 5 projects e wa Ashanti region moye men fan ko national ne agenda 111 ko about 5 projects moye men ko merry go round de bia mobile TV so ne bebusa masama na mo ko merry go round Clive C no see look in your pocket and vote. It's as simple as that. Sa na also mbeye adwuma no. Show mbotom de wo mu na no mbegina so mbeto aba. Afro mind they say bold solutions. It is possible. Ba omiana no moma na to so because a bold solution na beboa. And Muhammad Ali you say there's doom so and you don't even accept it say there's doom so. E better na economy ni kwa wetimi agya to mama we explaining say they say na efata. No reading Gambo no see please no one should vote MPP again. Osi ho de ono ho na ode ne de no akwakosi ono onsesa na dwene bebe o na dwene so onto MPP no ho a na gina nya de obeto e de ama MPP bia Kofitonto na mamisa musa o issue no o finalize na o say then the reason why now ka say ba omi anya say o say o ye incompetent by ya planking this is he's asking for his own term so that he can implement the issues according to our vision no we ho no mame
the American say we o mampanyi abedi ekira wadwuma ese wo ye ne say ube offer sound advice to the president omampanyin so otumi say wadwen kyira a wode bema no obefa ebi wo nso a ono wonya adwen sanity omampanyin bia otumi say ono nani suade hunu bebam enti se wo kokenkan eye nhoma yewura ogefo bosome ne de etosonson no ode tu dwa na okan wo mu say omampanyin Akufo-Addo anisuade hunu a no wo ne say Ghana say ye chichiri oman no ekwan be na ye befa so aboa ankrankra woni bie na ya pagya wo mumu ama mo abedru mapon ma bi omo abetimi aye de eso mo ye no ne fe no social intervention eto mampanyin Akufo-Addo amamuo no nani si social interventions so pa that means that solutions are mampanyin Akufo-Addo wono different na ono ni momu no wahunu se be bia Ghana edru no one ye fire mamra na ye chichiri si ho se ye de beje yen democracy na si ho se nyame adom yetimi age yen democracy na si ho Akufo-Addo nso ba no o focus on social intervention nyame adom yetimi aye dodo na de apagya ye manfo no amadru ba bia nimdie ne ade bebre ho nhihye no de so koso enti me no I am going to focus on what we call business and wealth creation. If you say read this speech now, or say I am going to shift my focus from social intervention to business and wealth creation. It is a obi shifting the focus. How can the solutions be the same?
okay
The solutions cannot be the same. Till I'm say enipa be brain share down to omubu kinkan and huma ye rani digu e pronso no.
okay
And one thing was say now say me person me focus on business support and wealth creation into no. Me person me de tax amnesty ba. Me person me de flat tax eba. Me person even the friend capital expenditure no. Yeah, about 3% of our GDP no. Me yi free ho. Na me de comma private business. Na sa 3% no me mfanye bibi foforo. 3% na say what can be say he can save the economy about 30 billion and then go for ntiase. Or say capital expenditure. Abanya odi ni sika ye kwan, abanya odi ni sika esi school, abanya odi ni sika to cars ni nyina no. Ye yente so ana ye nyimfiri ho. Na ankrankra nya kwan.
yes sir
No
okay
fa to so ankrankra si school na aban enlisi. That is the direction I me person me yeden mefa.
okay
It is only one solutions because the vision is different. How can anybody say Other na wonfa solutions then ko solve Akufo-Addo vision. How
Yeah,
does
but
that work?
yeah, but he was part of a Akufo-Addo vision, no? And which is why Nkofoni Nenya say he was supposed to help Akufo-Addo to give us a solution. Ewa Akufo-Addo abreso. Na sa solution na ye economy na no so nkofo hu ye no. Enu ti na omo de ho so bo no say na oni ni nyina nkofie.
And make sure say ono no aka say we take collective responsibility. And amasa actually say the data shows say aban ne born ho modern kopim say or how be buy ya e besensen wiase nyina akomu. Enti say how na ba na besensen wiase nyina akomu a we had fundamental challenges already.
Okay.
But when we ask them our kind, say when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. The ye who said the fundamentals are nanka ye chichire no. Ah ye ntimi chichire no. Are you weak? Fundamentals ni bi ni den and they say oh enough reserves are. Womanfo hia dollar de akokra niema ba onbenya bi. And na dollar na ye wogu edem no. And also it's a fundamental challenge. But ni nyina mu no
Me no nya mo na mo failing na sa fundamental challenge na exist still.
Ma me ma example. Eno na okoka sa asem we will be say, oh yeah, example. Hwe until Ukraine war buy no. Na yen petrol demand $200 million per month for 347 metric tons of refined products every month. 347,000 metric tons at a cost of $200 million. Because of Russian-Ukraine war, that same 347 metric tons, you know, the price jumped from 200 million to $400 million. So what it means is that sikana uogu puduo muanka ukotwene kakran no se kanino na akofa 2 as se ukofa 4 sikana in santem.
Okay.
Atosubio Biden crab a catcher and say freight charges have been increased by 1,000%. Urefi etikane no container wode niema gumwa na cost to a $2,000. Say container no e cost to $9,000. So dollar na ka okofa 2,000 dia kofa container no say okofa 9,000. Eti dollar na egu futuo no eso enhwan. Atosubio eniema na wokọ kra free abrochire ba. Russia ne support Germany with gas. Unimza.
Natural gas.
Yes, Russia na nema Germany gas. And tokwani see no. Sa gas no mo kwatwe. Until now Germany's production increased by 40%. So Germany na wokọ hokọ kra niema ba no. Kanene na akokra ne simple a. Ene no ne bo no ye den ekoso.
Yeah.
Eti ade dollar dodo na na ka wode kokra na ma free Germany aba no. Se uhia dollar dodo no mo. Sa wo Britain, sa wo America. Russia na okontokwa no Ukraine na okontokwa no. Omo ho na wokokra eye esam ene fertilizer dodo ye den efri de ba. Enti apart from say petrol bu okosoro no. Sa niema we nyina bu okosoro a uhia the same dollar no. And now they are kokra. 81 fundamental, which is you must have enough dollars to shore your currency. No, that dollar is depleting at a faster rate, which you didn't anticipate.
Okay, very well. But the question Uncle for said, did Mahama also anticipate that? Because Mahama time now, all this explanation, you didn't buy into it. And I'm
because Mahama didn't face a quarter of the challenges we are facing. You see, you have to look at the numbers. And I'm a catcher say Ebola was an epidemic, as an example, within a sub-region. Corona was a pandemic that affected every country, including the countries we import our products from. America, the supply chain disruption. The supply chain disruption. Ship ni containers now. How can anybody, in their objective sense of mind, compare Ebola to Russian-Ukraine war? Compare Ebola to Corona? How can anybody?
As I'm not can and I know when the fundamentals are still is the same. He stands by that statement.
It is an economic fact.
Okay.
That whenever your fundamentals are weak, no, your exogenous factors will affect you.
Okay.
It is an economic fact.
Okay.
Because you have an economy which has exogenous shocks. You can exogenous shocks are the children and say, or how are a free abonting a barbe attack you. We are susceptible to exogenous shocks. Ghana no economy ni de atare ehemi. In fact, be a woman who ne ya me no ka say yi nyina ye cry. Ni nyina ye cry. So you are an open economy. Economy a one more omo be invest in your currency no, on your economy no. They have the option say US increasing the interest rate or didn't see Kenya best side free ako US ako. That is the economy you are building. And until say we be building a modern economy. A modern economy, no.
Our bet me produce our near
man. And last education I made my man for and say that idea say Ghana ye team ye be my on ye. We must be able to produce what we are comparatively good at. Comparatively good at. It is a near man num sia bi ne betimia ya ye ne ya ni ahwe so ne ya ye bibia na ese Ghana ye. And yes, you are practicing what we call a protectionist strategy. It can equally backfire.
Okay.
And to building that modern blocks now fei utimi training 1 million UFA or multi Ghana so timi ye adwuma wa brochire nya dollar kakra. Ni nyina ye niema e ba beboa wo. John Dramani Mahama couldn't face a quarter of the challenges we faced. They cite examples like commodity prices. Do you know what they mean by commodity prices? They are referring to gold and then cocoa. If you are gold, you de kwa bontin. You can see Ghana the $6.5 billion worth of gold they are kwa bontin. The children say, "One more mut ankran krani adwuma ku omutu gold na de omu gold ko you." Says he can Ghana buy who?
The individual. The Ghana taxes no taxes what no.
It is our catch me say gold prices are called from nothing affect our economy. A percentage of that 6.5 billion is negligible to your economy. Completely negligible. So how can that be the basis for why your economy didn't perform? Then you go to gold, cocoa. Cocoa, your syndicated loan at that time the most was 1 billion. That 1 billion is equally negligible to your overall economy. So how can that be the basis? Now just suppose that to one transaction, the impact, what so much he said going to $4 billion, $5 billion. How do you compare the two? Just suppose that with Yashati we are seeing down. You cannot trade. Yashati or mining down, teacher for uncle school, other way unquite juma buying tree or mocha. How do you compare? Urefi said, Abayno, Yemianum, civil servants or man quite juma, a bimu for 1 year, a buying tree or mocha. Urefi.
Yeah.
Why do we forget all these things? Say Nipa 170,000 or more yari through COVID. I buy for Ubia Hoka. Urefi.
Your phobia, but there was also money generated at the airport.
Again, you
and
see,
the president be a fellow Ghanaian say IMF which was a grant.
No. You see, IMF my 2 types of money. So who could you see some of these things?
Yeah, but on my loan back on my grant. On my grant, so but loan look like interest free, me boy. Any interest free. Oh, IMF interest free, $1 million or something like that. No, I think it was more than 1 billion. Or
my first 1 billion, which is budget support. You see, what people don't understand, they say.
But was that not interest free?
Oh, the young fan say interest free. I don't remember the exact.
I think it was interest free.
Oh, the young fan say interest free. IMF first 1 billion on the mine. Now for budgetary support. In fact, who read the IMF statement or issue ya almost say Ghana buying sika way to support them on their budget. Do you know why? Because as a government, afibia budgeter sika ye nyani di edino. There is something called budget deficit. de wunya no eswasene de wudi. Enti that deficit no and IMF say ɔhaw a abeto mu wɔ kwan mu nti no monyi saa sika we na momfa nkɔko saa akon no. Enti 2022 as an example, yen budget deficit was 30 billion Ghana cedis. We had an expenditure line of 133 billion and then a revenue line of 99.5 billion, the revised value. So ab initio, you have a deficit of 33 billion Ghana cedis. It is a IMF amount 1 billion. Eka 33 ne kanibi. Okay. So you may have gotten some income coming in. But the question is, did that income fight all your deficit? No. So people will throw dust into your eyes, say, COVID time, we got money. Yes, we got money. But what was the deficit? What was the other losses? You'll be a friend of double jeopardy. Double jeopardy actually caught a lot of countries, which is when you are not gaining the monies that you were supposed to gain, you were making other losses. So higher losses mean Sika ese banema say so what the NDC does, and they say they throw this dust in the eyes of Ghanaians and say Sika buy against what debt?
Very
against
well.
What liabilities? These are the issues we have to go in. We will not allow them to lie to the people of this republic. No Korean woman said, yes, we got support, but the burden was far higher than the support that we got.
Okay.
And no na yenna Kufuado say, yenna na say, yetimi twa teacher, oh abrochira wote America wote. People got forbearance. So one year juma, enipa bi wa 1 year juma, yentua woka. Abrochire mpo American po ye almighty.
Ani de mo na mo ni media ho ni say Johnny just come JJC.
We say America jiwa.
Minim I'm not aware say nkofo bi on ma they gave them forbearance. They minim say nkofo ho no mo nya adwuma they were paying them. That one I know.
Who was paying who?
Somebody was paying workers and no mo nya adwuma. They were paying them even when they were home.
No. Mami sure what happened?
Let's come home.
For educational purposes, American government gave about 3 tranches of stimulus to people.
Yeah, they were
$1,200. And I think said the second one was 600 and another third one. That is not aching, or you cannot liken to Obia or GABia $50,000 a year. No man, a combined support of 3,000. How do you compare that?
Oh no, but people were still getting money. What now can say people were getting forbearance? Now I'm saying what I don't know that. What I know is people were paying.
No, I was talking about pay. So one kwa juma. Obi a one kwa juma to say 1 year juma. I'm not talking about the stimulus. Obi a one kwa juma no yentua ne ka. Ghana ha omo man kwa juma yetua omo ka.
But there were people there were categories of people man kwa juma but they more unemployment benefits me boy. People federal government unemployment benefit. And yet exactly according to the salary but they were giving money. Groceries.
If your unemployment benefit has nothing to do with COVID. Unemployment benefit is a welfare.
And COVID and general unemployment benefit. Now make a chance Johnny just come, but the little I know they say unemployment due to COVID. And yet the general unemployment, but COVID related and like those who were laid off, during the COVID era, they were all giving money. They were giving money. More businesses call from. They were giving money, which was federal loans that federal grants that were given to them. But so your time now. So I want us to just wrap up on the corruption for me. What is Bawumia's agenda on corruption? Because Nanado, there's someone comfortable and Nanado on his own in his 8 years, corruption. He has failed to fight corruption, which is a very key issue in Mobile. What would be Bawumia's plan to fight corruption?
It's actually not true. But
focus on corruption.
Yes, the data shows that Nanado has fought corruption. What Nanado has not done well is the perception index. You see, the perception index and CDD and other ones now but show say people have a higher perception, say there is more corruption. But perception is not actuality. And the fight against corruption is backed by data and specific actions that you have taken. But would you spend the time to go into it? Baumia's approach to corruption is that first be preventative. Don't allow it to happen. And build the requisite systems that will help prevent. Into Yanfa example of corruption is Ghana, we don't deem it as corruption. Land issues. It's a form of corruption. So Tibawumia can say, why don't you digitalize land issues? So that what digitalize we are, you create a unique record for every land. Which unique record
was it not digitized already? And you're World Bank for my scandal lab 1, lab 2, lab 3, lab 4.
Okay,
Land administration project is digitized.
When I journalist, but as it stands,
I'm aware of land. World Bank Sikom Kwame Jan in charge of that project. Over 8 years.
We are World Bank Mayesika Debia, so ABI
no, it's a digitized. That is why now mobile was so a better side plan. They use a digital GPS system. Here they see the 4 corners of your land. You're picking
you can pick the digital coordinates. It doesn't mean you've created digital records. Let's not.
If you digital coordinates, I'm gonna pick your money heading.
And that's
a record database.
If I understand you well, Nancy, na madam for be so pass as ya to home for farm. Into a more new machine bia or the basis they are able to pick the digital coordinates and then use that to go and search. And my search easier for them. But first, I think the process now we used to know was a bit more manual. Now they have that system bia or the basis as they can capture the digital coordinates. Baumia is talking about records. Say, as I see way, a Kofi Tonto there is tied to Kofi Tonto as my record. And then you add what we call blockchain technology, so that record cannot be altered without a trail.
Okay, blockchain is a very different, but the record is there. There's existing records there.
Okay, well, they're experts in it.
Again, digital because me mate and I'm in the law faculty. Timo, no, in charge of those things or lands commission. So they have they've digitized parts of Central Region Castle because it was giving them a hell of a headache there. And then they've digitized Eastern Region in a World Bank administration project.
That's good. But there can say we want to digitalize it to the extent that if you turn to Ghana card ID near board record now, we can tie that account
to the land
name. And then any alteration be if required, so that alteration is traceable, that nobody can change it.
Okay.
So that's alteration say assistant from Mimi Dimo the call if you are the record is there for everybody to see. Say Empire assistant Ubin to me Sisano without and no, it's an example. It's an example of preventive solutions. Another example, they say for controller ne other transactions or more. If you tie it to a digital recorder, yet didn't say ube duplicate records na mo be extra income. About 3 months ago, near Coma controller declare at an event at controller said they can declare now that the controller account is duplication free. You need double identities.
Controller account, no?
Oh yes. We went to control
about that.
Oh, measure restaurant just about
because just recently a Monday me read a report from special prosecutor on money controller.
The northern one.
Yes, I free not never.
My story.
No. But that what is the salary in controller database when there were both names. More research in investigation. They've managed to save Ghana government $34 million from Tikedi.
The OSP report in this almost save Ghana 2.4 million cedis from the northern sector. And they City FM at the story about the northern people. They can say OSP didn't do any such thing. And all the upper
They didn't do any search with them.
The super such a City FM story.
Okay.
Maybe I'm the best. I wouldn't want to even debate with OSP. But the question is, that ben na OSP, yes, our checks, no. Time ben or yeah, no. A coin ben or fast, yeah, no. I mean, we can't just OSP make us say, well, you duplication or you need a ben. A coin ben or fast, you duplication. Baumia can remove duplication and OSP can investigate, say, indeed, there were that duplication. In fact, the two of them can be mutually inclusive. They can be possible. Say, Baumia be here from Mama OSP. Yes, I had no research. But the bottom line is, ask OSP that Ben or Ifrimu or Quine Beso.
I have the report because I'm the kind of report.
Okay.
And
also,
yeah,
I
have the time now, but I have the report. Where you from on the Registrar General Department. I didn't hear it's not investigation, tracking salaries and who the system be for instance, before I bet your salary, there must be validation. People were validating for ghosts. Some of the validators were non-existent. And people have been collecting the money consistently.
But say I don't know about me. Say just 3 months, maybe 2 or 3 months.
And I make sure say 28 years I'm about until say special prosecutor koya friend about me ever catch us away.
But what are you saying? Why are you saying that? I'm saying that. Controller, I was there about 3 months ago. I was there with him when we went for controller to actually simulate a new system. The Ghana card is helping them remove duplication. I was there. Yes, CEO. I was in the
special prosecutor. Jumana about me. Jumana wajibi no yana.
The major one say we may have to even find out what special prosecutor is talking about.
Okay.
But the special prosecutor, how does that negate idea about Baumia? And yes, Baumia can't say, I was in the room. We met controller. It was recorded with media in the room. And it wasn't a dying say Baumia media event. I'll find the story and share it with you several months ago. So how can something like that be done? And then OSP can't someone. Yes, someone. Controller for now validating all of a sudden and you're true. How?
Okay, very well.
How?
Very well. Because I have the report here. I'm only GRA for hang on. So I have the report here because Monday I used it for a program, and the report says okay, hang on. The report, this is OSP Government of Ghana Payroll Administration Investigation. And northern regions no almost started. So the idea was to bring it down to the southern sector. And reset no muhu se nkofo bebre disika. Sika ni nyina amounted to $100 billion. And even Prof. Sasari was saying, say, OSP should not just be telling us about Sika and Kofo Dinia. They must be mentioning the names of Omwa. Because this is a lot of if you look at even the summary of or see in one instance it was discovered that in one of the schools, school Nagasaka was not existent. Kumbungu DA, the school was not even existent. Headmaster validators they found them say most of them were ghost names. It is extremely worrisome that a non-existent entity has been designated as a functioning district assembly primary school, and the data of artificially created staff. This is a report. I'll forward it to you so that you can read it yourself. But you're wrapping up on the corruption. I'll send it to you so that you read it and we'll get back.
I've just even found the story. January 11th.
Well, story is different. This one, there's a report. Oh, I'm sending them anyway.
No. I am sending you a report, a story on the day controller for launching a new system. I'm sending it to you, but I will take time to read
Yeah, I've sent you the report too. Yeah.
I'll take time to read because
okay.
The point that I'm making is say OSP say why BB on government payroll. It doesn't negate the fact say using Ghana card, we have been able to create a unique system for the payroll.
Okay.
It doesn't negate it.
Okay.
So why should that even be a debate?
An issue, yo.
It doesn't debate it. And I know the air can say we are putting in place preventative mechanisms that will prevent as much as possible. Because at the end of the year, after na adi nipa na ebe court, who di nipa na court wa ba besre, nipa no ne judge, ono so de ne lawyer ba, hwe opuni case ya, aban di opuni court. How many years? So you are better off putting in place systems. Once you have the systems, the systems will help reduce the corruption. And yenina yejitum say Baumia Bayano within the last 7 years, he has been able to help us put in place a lot of systems.
Okay.
Ebwa DVLA and Janice ECG and all these other places are at least we are seeing improvements in their service delivery process.
Yo,
that's how
ground that do you feel that mubetime breaking 8 moko ground conform do you see that breaking the 8 is mubetime?
The breaking the 8 is very possible. Oko for moi enipa bebre a oni omudi nkomo de omo kan se Kofi na mo ye adwuma pa o ade na mo ntimi nyire mo ho modewro ade na mo ntimi nyire mo ho kamasem enipa bi wo ha ono beka se o chale se de niam mo ayedio but no kure ne se mo bae no ma ye adwuma. So you realize that even in the midst of challenges enipa bebre appreciate adwuma yaye. But omo challenge omo ne ye won say mo adwuma no ho dawro enough for people to see what you have been able to do. And even in the instances amubo ho dawro no, how do you narrate the story so that the Ghanaian sees where you are coming from? Yamfa Ekwan as an example. Untimi nye Ghana fo nyina kwan ma wo. But the truth of the matter is say why ya kwan no dodo na ekwan be na wo fa sumpo ama Ghana fo ate ekwan si ye kwan a what does it entail? No nti wo na waye dodo. Uma Ghana ni hunu say 94,000 kilometers na ekwan bia cost to say na we say cost to say we say yes. If you don't do that at the end of the day people will not really see the real impact. Okay. So you get the sense that people appreciate what we have done. People also accept say there are challenges, but they have hope in us. Say we have what it takes, and they tell us, Kofi, Mahamadi, Yehunu ne nsano da. Sanka NDC for crowd in nipa foforo baya, anke beyebi, but akwaye Mahamadi.
Omompe.
It is not something that they want.
Okay.
And the breaking 8 in us there, extremely possible. But the TN say yes, we have a lot of work to do to explain our issues, to sell the work we have done, to tell Ghanaians why we have to do more. The moment Ghana for Kasa you see that a lot of Ghanaians begin to have a change of mind and a change of heart. Breaking the 8 is more than possible, but we have a lot of work to do to make it possible, and we are going to do that. And until na yeko window to window, door to door, garage to garage, ranch to ranch, everywhere, streets, everywhere, to make sure say we communicate with the Ghanaian.
Kobi mamina wati baby say wabe join e esta ne ya charge your time there but ni nyina so kan adwuma na mo ye no mebo a that's baby next week the unu no NDC for be but also come and
that's fine
to us about omo plan not say we when be can tell we but just to introduce them also to to talk about the agenda. Said the Wabeka Mudi digitalization, corruption, more fighting, any projects, and why a road acquiring feedback from the people on the ground. Say why nema bebre bamun to mean can explain to people so that they can all understand more vision now more dynamic because nebia obia constituency and obia fee na mbetimi akọ ene na kokasa. So some of these platforms, this is the value of what Edumano so etie. And here that's a political aid to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who is the flag bearer for NPP 2024. And now to see a new buyer Etuchun Komono NPP for chairperson for America and a new more DC chairperson also Casa Omono more fundraising dinner no money Bawumia ebe no 25th Virginia no more this is NPP 8 years in office. The that is the decision that you take, and so everybody is entitled to Najune is entitled to Niko Kromoti. Memobia, you are entitled to what you feel. Obi send a message, me no catch a shower sitting na to waba. That is 8 years. Shower sitting to waba and take a decision for yourself. I was having invited that ma or more boy ma asem no question na Diaspora radio peki or London and other for media peki or Belgium ne France. What I any team so peki high live radio or DC DMV DC Virginia Maryland and Migachu FM so peki live Kukren to me. I feel yeah can for Kings Jersey and so New Jersey almost peki live mo be so and can what would say bia or OKFM say radio so say Facebook say YouTube Vim Lady online any baby. I thank you so much and then more sending message you have. I like and then sending more sending message. People are engaging. See, the people are serious. They want to secure their future. They want to hear. People are engaging. Maybe one in hear argument. That's the beauty of democracy. And critique abino because vote. And no tax. Any edema the esgashani. You are supposed to critique. Then you. But you are supposed to critique them. And then time my mama and join and I'm but next week we'll do that. So that will be your time now. So watch your money COVID to our boss. But then next week NDC. So NDC will be here to also speak about more issues. In terms of baby. Well, no be person who video. Next is not this is the next is no. Or Ghana nurses no music and buy. This is what they are saying.